The Hangout is on air live. Welcome everybody to podcast 3. And today's topic is the big five of media that we grew up with. I'm a terrible opener at these.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Not everybody's good at opening.
I know. So let's start with the early. So what's the first age you guys have any memories of?
3.
Same.
For me, that's 1997.
Yeah, that's the year I was born.
I mean, I can remember bits earlier than that, but that's like where I can remember decently.
Yeah. Same with me. Like I may have a few glimpses from before summer of 2001 when I was about 3.5, but they may be confused for something else. Summer of 2001 is the first time where I know I can remember it. In fact, I even had a traumatic event in early September of 2001, a bit before 9/11, where I fell off the playground.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
Oh yeah, and for a 3-year-old, it was like torture.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that, especially if you're that age. I mean, it's like a nightmare.
I was a screamer in general, so.
Yeah. So what are some of the first TV shows you all were into?
Rugrats.
Rugrats?
Same.
Yeah.
As well as some of the older stuff that was there, like, if we're talking about, like, around, like, 3 or 4, the stuff that would have been on Nickelodeon at that time would have been, like you said, Rugrats, as well as Rocko's
Hey,
Modern Life,
Arnold.
even though it was, like, ending practically, as well as all that, because all of that was still on. A lot of people don't seem to remember that for some reason, except for, like, the 90s kids or whatever. And then the other shows that came later was, like, Hey Arnold, Angry Beavers, and that would be probably about it, though.
So you said you started watching a Nickelodeon early?
I think so, because
Yeah.
because I don't really mention this, but I have an older sister and a cousin, and I was most likely watching what they were watching at the time.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, they definitely had a big influence.
Yeah, like when I was 3 and 4, because I had 2 older sisters. I definitely was in the same room and watched it, but I don't remember the only show I remember really enjoying on Nickelodeon was Rugrats, probably because Rugrats is sort of like a hybrid between a big kid show and a preschooler show. It feels like it.
Yeah, and plus, like, it's kind of weird that you watch it now, and it actually has a lot of like adult humor too. That, like, it's one of the few shows that I can put on now, and I can still enjoy watching it. Or, like, I could put on other shows I watched when I was like 3, like the Playhouse Disney shows, or like the Nick Jr. shows.
Wait, is it live now?
Yes, it is right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were saying?
Yeah, that Rugrats one of those shows that I watch when you're up, that parents could probably have, like, or older siblings have watched with younger kids, and kind of everyone could have enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
It can be like painful.
But yeah, about I was gonna add to that what she said about Rugrats, and not just Rugrats, but also Rocko's Modern Life. I didn't realize that at the time both shows had a lot of adult humor, especially when you look at Rocko's Modern Life, and then they had some of this other, like, they had like some gay themes, I believe, and there was something about HIV. Yeah, I did not know any of that at the time.
Yeah,
so it was surprising to hear about that when I was. So it was surprising to hear all about that when I was looking at BuzzFeed articles, and they were talking about stuff that you may have missed.
I remember on Nicktoons seeing an episode of Rocko's Modern Life where Rocco and Filbert got gay married.
I remember that.
But yeah, it was not. But yeah, the thing about it was pretty mature for its time, and not only that, but it was a very pretty good show. I mean, and even in today, it's practically considered one of the best classics of the 90s. And in terms of and actually about that, I did watch that show a few years back. Like, I watched like the first episode, I think. And even though it had been so long since I've even seen that show, I was like literally laughing the whole time.
You know, and also, you said you don't remember this show, but this show also had a lot of adult humor. Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was already over by the time we were looking at by the time the Hey Arnold and Angry Birds when they came out. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was already over, and especially the fact that this was like not only did it have a lot of adult humor, but it got so overexposed that the original creator ended up getting fired.
I feel like I'm probably in like an awkward age group with some of this because I can remember, like I would watch some of those Nick shows like Rocco, but they were definitely reruns.
Yeah.
Like Nick was still airing them like 1997, 1998, 1999. Like they would still be on at the point where I would start watching those channels. But so I think a lot of people my age are like, yeah, 90s kids. But I'm like, you were watching a rerun in 1999. It doesn't really count.
Yeah, and also it's either 98 or 99 considered the start of the silver age for a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's more, I mean, even the Rugrats episodes I watched were old, really, and I didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah.
Because Rugrats wasn't really good after Dill was born, it kind of went downhill. But I would say once they brought in Kimmy, and I liked actually both of those movies at the time, and I still don't think they're bad, but after they did the Paris movie, like the show was not good. They got rid of that like adult humor aspect of it.
So Nerdy, do you also remember the debut of SpongeBob?
Yeah, it was 1999, right?
August
1999. And it was the episode where it was Bubble Stand. I remember watching it. It debuted with Rocket Power. It was the summer before I started kindergarten.
Oh, debuted alongside Rocket Power like the same day?
I believe it did.
Well, they did, but for SpongeBob, they actually did a preview of that show, and they started with the episode Help Wanted, where this is like the first episode where before SpongeBob worked, where he was getting ready to see if he can get hired. Like he was looking for a job and he wanted to get hired, and he tried to go for the Krusty Krab, and I believe at the time Mr. Krabs, I think, told him to go get some stuff to prove that he was ready for that he was for the position. So he ended up getting like I think a spatula and a few other things. And then as he came back, Mr. Krabs and Squidward I think were kidnapped. They weren't really kidnapped, because they were still at the restaurant, but they were tied up by I think these nematode looking things I think. But yeah, and then SpongeBob ended up saving the day by feeding them Krabby Patties, and then after that, Mr. Krabs obviously hired him off the spot, and then Squidward was all like mad because he didn't want him there.
This was a very vague memory for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have came for SpongeBob. It would have came 2 months before Rocket Power because it first premiered in May of 1999, so at least 2 months before Rocket Power. But yeah, I do remember that one too.
So any or you want to go on?
Oh, I feel like SpongeBob that made me big. It took a while to get new episodes, and I remember once it was like that fall, once it got going, like you'd put it on, and there would only be like a couple of episodes. It took a while to like get going. Obviously now there's like a million episodes, but
yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, I could totally agree with what she said because back in '99, yes, SpongeBob did start, but it wasn't that revolutionary show that it is today.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, you still had like icon shows like Rugrats, as well as Hey Arnold, and all that. You also still had Angry Beavers, and then you also had the other shows that came on before, like Cat Dog, yeah, and Wild Thornberrys. And then there was another show that for some reason I keep forgetting to mention, but it seemed like I guess it's forgotten. Also, Kablam was still on at that time too.
Yes, I did watch that show.
But yeah, I could totally understand why SpongeBob at the time would have not been shown constantly like it is now because you had a variety of other shows that were still, especially since they were still more popular, and then SpongeBob had just started. So
yeah, there was that episode where like he goes into Sandy's like tank, and the water runs out, and that was probably one of the early ones, I think. But I
Yeah.
remember them advertising that, like, oh, like new episode, like it was a big deal because there was only a couple. Then it was, yeah, SpongeBob ripped his pants. I think that one was with Bubble Pan, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, the older. Also, there was also the Krusty Krab pizza one at that time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's one of the most iconic episodes of the early SpongeBob days.
Yeah.
Did
Let's see.
Did anyone watch Arthur?
Oh yeah, I
sure did.
Obsessed
I
with
was
Arthur.
Yes,
Like I still, that's another, along with Rugrats, I would say it's one of those shows that I could still watch now and I can still find it entertaining. And there's like a lot of like hidden like adult references. Like it was kind of a mature kid show, really.
Yeah. But like many people think of it as a preschool show because it's on a PBS Kids, but really Arthur, they're in a way feels in a way more like a Kids show, at least to me, than even Rugrats did.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of like just little things in it. Like one thing, I mean, and I still like will quote this and joke about it, that if you remember, Muffy's dad is a used car salesman. And the whole joke is that they're so rich and he sells used cars, kind of like a wink and a nudge. And then their like kind of slogan is, and she always says it, she's like, walk, don't run to Crossfire Motors. And I did not get that like a couple months ago. And I can't, and like now every time I hear someone say that, like, you know, run, don't walk, I now like think of that and like I love it.
By the way,
I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea that show was still on today.
By the way, Nerdy, at this time during the late nights, was Nickelodeon still playing reruns of shows like Animaniacs?
In the morning.
Yeah, I think.
I remember
you said, I don't think it was Nickelodeon. I think it was more like Cartoon Network at the time.
Yeah, I remember like they would have different shows kind of in like when I was like when like my brother was like at school that like I would watch alone. I remember like Muppet Babies, which was definitely a lot older than I was when I was airing it. When it was airing, it was old. And I want to say that there was that show where it's the two mice, and they're like the lab rats, and one's like an evil genius. What was
Peeking
that?
in the Brain?
I remember when that aired, and it was old, and they brought it back like after school, and that would have been about 2000, I think.
But yeah, I don't know if that was the show that you were mentioning, but yeah, I actually remember that show a lot. Although I'm not sure if I remember watching it when it was still on or when it was reruns, because I did check the show and that it ended, I think, in '99. So around the time, it would have been elementary school for me too. But around that would have been around the time that I was still watching. Obviously, I was still watching all those channels, but I also think it was on Kids WB too.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because I saw it on Kids WB, and then I would see it on Nickelodeon too. But obviously, Kids WB would have had it first.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few shows from Nickelodeon that they were from WB Kids. They ended up on there. Some of them might have ended up on Cartoon Network too. I don't know what happened with WB Kids. I guess it broke up somehow. But I want to say Pokemon was on that too.
Yeah, Pokemon definitely started on Kids WB.
And Digimon and all those.
Oh yeah, and Digimon. That's one of the shows that I never see mentioned because Pokemon was obviously the bigger fad, and that Digimon was like less known.
Yeah, I didn't watch it as much as I would have watched it.
So what other types of media were you into it during this time for a
Nintendo 64?
Yeah, we had that too. Me too.
Yeah, we usually didn't have it, but we would go to we had like a friend's house we go to a lot, and I would play it. We'd do Mario Kart. I was always Princess Peach. Oh. Then we would do like the wrestling game. I don't remember exactly which WWE.
Yeah, they had quite a few wrestling games on there.
The Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the original. And then when I was about, which I don't know if I was about 6, I guess, we got PS1. I think when I was more like 3 or 4 or 5, I got to play the original Game Boy because I always got my brother's hand-me-downs, his little sister, and he got a Game Boy Color. He always played Pokemon on that. And so I got the original, that gray Game Boy, and we have two or three games. One of them is a Home Alone game. And this is like such like a crude game, but it's kind of hard. But that's what I would play probably at that age.
Yeah, about the N64. It was, of course, my first console, and my very first game was a Diddy Kong Racing. Did you guys ever play that game?
I had so much fun with that game. Except that, but like you said before, Captain, that was one thing I didn't like was the whole silver coin challenge.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why I still haven't beaten that game to this day. Like I've tried, and I've got on rage quits, you know, because it was too damn hard, that silver coin challenge.
I actually and just a few years back, I actually made it past all the silver coin challenges for once. But then there was a boss I got stuck on, which was Wizpig, and they said to beat him the first time you have to use the character Bumper.
Did any of you guys have like some really obscure, weird little games? Like, I always ended up with those games that they would sell at like Staples or whatever it used to be. They'd have by the register that were like $5 or $10. Like,
well, I don't know if this is
Candyland.
Well, I don't know if this counts, but we had Glover. I don't know if that counts as a.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a platforming game.
Yeah, let's see. I had.
She has for lesser. She has for lesser known games, right?
I would play. It was like Angelica's Fashion Show, and that was actually like a hard game on PS1. Then I had like Mary Kate and Ashley one that was like horses for PS1. My brother would do go on the NASCAR game, and I would go backwards around the track, and I would just try to crash into him, and he wouldn't be able to win his race.
Is that a race? So you said that's a racing game?
Yeah, NASCAR.
Oh,
he would get NASCAR for every single year.
Yeah, was it NASCAR '99 by chance?
I don't know. It was probably 2000 or 2001 because until once we got the PS1, I don't think we had it before then.
Yeah, we had NASCAR. That seems to be the one that the NASCAR game that most people seem to have is NASCAR '99.
Yeah, I'd have to look at exactly what I have.
For me, there's a lot of less known games that I had at the time, not just for N64, but also the Super Nintendo. Like the few that come to mind that nobody thinks about when they talk about these two consoles is that for the Super Nintendo, I had these two games called, like there was a tennis game that I had, and I had played it from time to time until I ended up losing it out of nowhere. And then some other games that come to mind are the Addams Family. And because of that game, I know I still think of the theme song to this day, even though I haven't played that game or heard the theme song for a long time. And then there's some other games that come to mind. It's Indiana Jones, and then there's another one called Star Trek. And then I also had one more other game that was less known too. I'm trying to see if I can remember it because I did have a lot of lesser known games for the Super Nintendo back then, and I'm trying to believe there was one more left, I think.
All right. By the way, speaking of the Super Nintendo, did you also have the Donkey Kong Country games?
I sure did. I had all three. But one thing that I don't like about those games, though, and I even told Jacqueline this, is the game over screens. I can't get over that. I've tried my best to get my fear over that, and they're just too scary to just like conquer your fear over, because of how big they look, how big the letters look, and how the characters look like when you get them. It's like, yeah, I can't stand that.
Oh, like at the age you were back then.
Yeah, that's what practically just hit me right there. Yeah, but and we actually looked at them again, like because I was at her house like 3 weeks ago or so, a month or so. But we were just looking at them, and I still could not get over it because it had been so long. I mean, but yeah, that's one thing I definitely don't like about those games. It's just that they're all practically flawless games. You know, have great replay value. But that's the only thing I don't like about this game is just that part. That's about it.
Let's see, any other N64 games you had back then, like the Banjo games or Super Mario 64 or the Smash Brothers, Mario Party?
Well, I had all those games. Well, I didn't have Banjo, but I did have like all the Mario games. Like I had, well, the only Mario game I didn't have was Mario Golf, but I did have all the other. Like I had Super Mario 64, I had Mario Kart, I had Mario Tennis. I had Paper Mario. I had the first 3 Mario parties, and that was it. I didn't have that Mario Golf was the only one I didn't have. And then for all the lesser named games for that one, at the time when the N64 was current, I didn't actually have that much lesser known games. But the few that come to mind that I did have was a game called Star Wars War Squadron, and then I also had another one called Gold that went by the name of Mystical Ninja, and there is this character named Geomon. Those are the only 2 lesser known games that I had at the time the N64 was current. The rest of them, like Ready to Rumble, WrestleMania 2000, King Griffey Jr., I didn't get those until much later.
And how about a GoldenEye Perfect? You want to?
Oh, I had GoldenEye too, but I didn't have Perfect Dark. That's one I didn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I used to hate as a kid was when you go to like Walmart and you wanted to like look at the game, like because you'd have to look at the back side of the game, like to read the info and like see what the game was gonna look like. You could just like go online, and so it would be locked up. And, like I'd have to like ask somebody to like open it and reach up. And when you're like 7, that's like so intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Because I remember when the N64 games used to be sold in these they're like VHS-like cases. This is at Hollywood Video. I don't know if did you have a Hollywood Video in your area?
Doggone.
Yeah, well, same with mine. I think they went bankrupt just like a Blockbuster did.
I went to like a local video rental store, but we did have one of those. I was friends with a girl in driver's ed, and she drove in to Blockbuster. And I think they didn't bother to renovate. They just closed.
Oh, they closed? Like when?
It was 2010, so it was like right around then. But yeah, she like drove into it and she like wrecked all the glass and wrecked their wall.
Oh my god!
She drove into it, or she backed into it, or something like that.
Did you get in large trouble for that?
I don't know, because it was like, I mean, it was during driver's ed, and we all like asked her about it, like what happened, like. But I don't know. I guess nothing became of it because they were probably already bankrupt. And we're just like, oh well, that's too bad. Now it's a Five Guys.
Yeah. Oh, what, they turn into a Five Guys?
Yeah. Oh. Yep, it's like a Five Guys and a Starbucks.
Yeah, that's a good restaurant, but damn, is it expensive?
Yeah, my brother goes there. But...
Yeah. So, any movies you remember from that time period?
I would say the early Pixar ones for me. Toy Story came out when I was like a baby, but that was definitely like the first like VHS tape that I would watch, and I figured out how to use the VHS player when I was like 2 or 3. But then I remember the first movie I think I saw in theaters was it A Bug's Life maybe, or Bug's Life, Toy Story 2. And the Rugrats movie. Those are like the first movies I saw in theaters. So I don't really know a time before the digital animation, just because that really kicked off like right when I was like the right age for it.
Well, you and Nerdy would have caught in the tail end of the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah. For me, because I watched them all. Like when it comes to like the Disney stuff, it would have been, I believe, the first would have been for me would have been the Hunchback. as well as Hercules, and then Mulan and Tarzan.
Yeah. Those are well, Tarzan was pretty much the end for the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah, that's
Right.
pretty much it. And I actually think that probably the peak of it is actually more Little Mermaid through Lion King. I actually think that really, even though I do now find Hunchback to be a very good movie, I think that Hunchback, Pocahontas, and Tarzan, they're just like barely in the Renaissance from just through legacy. I think they're not like as big of a thing as like, you know, Aladdin and Lion King.
Yeah, I mean, Lion King would definitely not only it would also be the mathematical peak since it came out in '94, which is right between '89 and '99.
If it came out like a month before I was born, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't know that one.
Do you also remember, whether it be seeing it in theaters or hearing when it came or hearing about it? I mean, it's not the first, but Star Wars Episode 1.
I remember nothing of the Star Wars prequels. I remember, I'll take that back. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I had a weird thing with Princess Leia.
Oh.
Like, I drew a girl. Well, I thought it was Princess Leia, but it was, you know, it was Natalie Portman. I forget her name because I watched the prequels like once. But anyway, yeah, I drew her picture as her because I thought she was like pretty. Like I thought like Barbie was pretty, and that's about it. I don't really. I just was too young, really. I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
For the first movies I remember seeing in theaters back in 2001, were Monsters Inc. and Shrek.
Yeah, I remember Shrek was a huge deal. I was about in first or second grade when that came out, and that was just like the movie, I think.
Yeah, a lot of a series started. I believe 5 of them started in 2001. You had Shrek is the only one I would have been at least somewhat for my age when I was that age, but also in 2001 you had the start of the Fast and the Furious movies, the Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter made me definitely kicked off about then.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I still haven't read really any of the books. I watched the full series like I don't know a couple months ago. I hadn't watched all of them, so I sat down and watched all of them.
See, I also had the Oceans and Lord of the Rings started in 2000. Yeah, all those.
I just finished watching the full Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah. 2000.
Spy Kids also started that year too.
Oh, by the way, on the topic of movies, because you remember not seeing this, not seeing it in the theaters necessarily, but do you remember hearing about how big a deal the movie Titanic?
Not really. I think I knew what it was at like 4, which kids now probably wouldn't. Like that was probably unusual. But I was watching Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really hear much about that either. I mean, I think that then would have been more for like those who were adults at the time.
Yeah, probably
there's a lot of general events I do remember from that period. It's just not Titanic wasn't one of them though.
It's not one of them, exactly.
So final one, unless you want to talk about a books, is music. Talk about for the Y2K era.
Nice Girl. Actually, one of the first songs I remember is Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain. Like remember as in like being like the new like hit song. Then I remember my parents playing Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer.
Yeah.
And there's just some like clubby late 90s music that kind of some of the first things I remember. But even though
I don't really remember much probably at all, remember the year 1999, the Billboard of that year still feels very homely to me, particularly from my early childhood, probably because they were still
they're still really playing those next couple of years.
Yeah,
those songs continued to play, but say for me, I don't remember anything from like early 90s, you know, when it was still rock or any of the grunge stuff. Like that was just completely gone by like the late 90s. I wasn't familiar with any of that until I was a teenager.
Yeah, so right now I'm on the in another tab. I'm on the Billboard 1999 page. Let's see. "Believe" was the '1 song from Cher.
And
That's definitely one I remember. Let's see.
yeah.
And of course, "Baby One More Time," and of course,
That was
"Kiss Me" by
just the song. And another thing that's interesting about that era is that was one that really, I think, did affect little kids because they would show that on like Nickelodeon and stuff, but also, and I always talk about this, like the clothes. Like when I was about 5, those were like the clothes they had for little kids was like crop tops, and like it seems weird, but like I had a shirt like she wears in that where it's like the white button down and it ties, and that's like what you could find. And I had like a pleather skirt.
Yeah.
It's like what there was, and I had like I had a Spice Girls like toy microphone. It was just that bubblegum pop was very marketed to little girls, and little girls liked it. I liked it. It was, again, it was like Barbie-ish.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, most of the core audience for that music probably doesn't go above 18.
Probably not. I mean, I think it was one of those things that it did kind of capture everybody, like, maybe comparable to more like Ariana Grande today, though on like a larger scale. But you really had, your young girls who, the aesthetic like just really appealed to.
Yeah.
And some guys, because I'm pretty sure there were some guys who, even though most would have despised it, I'm not gonna deny and think that there were some guys who did enjoy it, even though they would have had to hide that, unfortunately, because if they would have found out they like that kind of music, they would have been made fun of.
Yeah, like the Backstreet Boys. Many people refer to them as the One Direction of their time, and a lot of people hated them back then. Like people hated One Direction. But the thing is, people remember. You know who else did this? The Beatles back in the '60s.
Right, and now and look what happened to them now. Everybody's praising them regardless of age.
Yeah, I mean,
it was embarrassing.
Then again, also, so the Beatles were more talented musically than the Backstreet Boys or One Direction because eventually around 66 or 65 rather, when they did a Rubber Soul, they started using their studio more, and they put out some more experimental stuff.
I remember one of the biggest groups that was cool to like in like first grade was Baha Men.
Oh yes, Baha Men.
The Who Let the Dogs Out. That was like, I don't know if that was like 2000, 2001, but that was the song.
Oh yeah, sure. It sure was. Like that song was like everywhere.
The song.
I believe I remember hearing that song. I don't think didn't chart. If I remember looking. Even though I heard it all the time, but I remember seeing that it wasn't being chart, I think.
Yeah, sometimes not everything does like chart. It's necessarily like what it feels like everyone's listening to. But that also depends on your age group too. I mean, I can't imagine a lot of adults at the time listening to that. But for kids, I mean, that was like the Sexy and I Know It of my time. That was the song.
Oh yeah, so true, so true.
Also,
and on top of that, you had like other songs.
Yeah,
like
Sugar Ray.
Right.
Or what's that with Blink 182?
And then you had
Blind.
All the Small Things.
Yes. Yeah, when I was like in first grade, that was the cool song.
Some of the first songs I remember listening to were a lot of the post-grunge songs, like unfortunately Nickelback and when Creed were there, but there was also like Stains, It's Been a While, Puddle of Mud's Blurry, The Callings, Wherever You Will Go, Lifehouse is Hanging by a Moment.
I don't remember a lot of that other than maybe Nickelback at the time.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing much post grunge either. When it comes to like the rock music of that period, it's either more likely the pop punk stuff or the new metal stuff.
Well, yeah, I remember hearing a lot of Avril Lavigne. This is getting a little bit later. This is probably more like 8 or 9.
I think we're getting to that. so we're now getting into a sort of like a, I want to say the 2002 to 2003
Yeah.
or four era. Like it was both the Y2K era, but it was still not a
Yeah, early mid 2000s.
yeah. That's that yeah. In a way, I think 2002, 2003, 2004 is at least a early 2004 is somewhat of its own era.
Yeah, because it definitely had moved away from, it wasn't, say you could almost take Britney Spears, like her look and her music,
Yeah.
and almost kind of use that as like a reference. Say by that era, that's when she was doing like Toxic, and it was definitely like the full sex thing. It was gone from like the cutesy kind of Lolita thing. It was completely
Yeah, it was basically this is what I refer to as mall pop stuff like Avril Lavigne, Michelle Branch, Liz Phair. Like I don't know, this is not official, but I'd refer to that as mall pop.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah, this is also when alternative rock was getting I mean, not just the post grunge and the new metal, but also so more alternative metal stuff like Breaking Benjamin was starting to get big in this time period. Finger 11.
Well, I consider this period actually the height of like kind of when like goth was cool and like when like Hot Topic was cool and stuff like that, where it was a lot edgier than a couple of years before, where it was getting to like the boy bands weren't necessarily so cool anymore. It was more you had more your Avril Lavigne or your sexy Britney for like your pop stars, or you had a lot of you had like crunk and all this stuff kind of, it was an edgier era, I guess.
Yeah.
Where instead of stuff, you still had some cutesy stuff just like left over from the late 90s, I think, and this was pretty much getting to be about all gone.
Also, this was I'd say when rap music was party rap was probably at its peak. It started pretty much with Nellyville.
And then as well as Ja Rule, because I think he made some party stuff, I think, too. Yeah. And they also had Ludacris. I mean, who could forget him?
I feel like Pink becoming like a big pop star is also kind of like a good example for but what
Yeah, around the time she made that. Around the time she made songs like "Just Like a Pill" or "Don't Let Me Get Me."
Yeah, like, I mean, I know she started. It was probably around 2000 with like the "I'm Coming Up" or "The Party" or whatever song that is. But
yeah,
definitely
Are you guys talking about
getting
Pink?
into like 2003. I think she was more than just like a novelty act. She was, like a legitimate pop star.
Yeah, there's also
Are you guys talking about Pink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I remember. I mean, I don't remember the first two songs she had, but the Party Starter song, I do remember that.
Also, was it in 2002 when NSYNC broke up?
Probably.
Yes, that is true. That's the year they broke up. Although they were supposed to be on a hiatus, and then all of a sudden they just turned into a permanent break. And then JT ended up going solo, and then he had his few songs from Justified.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another song. That's why I brought the NSYNC thing. But Justin Timberlake's "Rock Your Body."
Yeah.
It was in 2004 that he was at the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson. And
oh yeah. Yeah, that caused a lot of even though I definitely don't remember that because my parents sheltered me from that. But I do know.
I missed it. But I remember I went to school the next day and everybody was talking about it. I have this one friend that she was like, her parents were, they're like very Christian, I guess, and they wouldn't, have Disney Channel for her, but she would always like want to look around and watch. Anyway, she got to see that, and this was like the highlight of her life. It felt like, and she would not stop carrying on about it, and they had it like videotaped. She's like, I could watch it anytime I want. It was hilarious.
Yeah. By the way, since you brought up the Super Bowl, I want to segue into the other parts of media from this time. I want to start with of course this is when in the NFL Tom Brady pretty much started his dynasty. It was in 2002.
Yep, and then it's. I mean, I don't know. I'm not from like a family that was like super into football, but I am from Patriots country. So
Yeah.
I would say my childhood. I mean, it's not. It still goes on, but since Boston sports just became like like prior to the 2000s, it was kind of like a Boston was like cursed and all this stuff. And I don't really remember that era. Like I am pretty much remember like post, Super Bowls and World Series and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is also, I mean, well, 2004 was when I believe the Red Sox won their first World Series in like 80 years or so.
That was like a pretty significant part of like I would say getting to like the later part of my childhood.
Yeah. I want to go into to do a bit of a tangent before we go. Since you live in the New England area, have you ever been to a Connecticut? And are they more New York or New England fans?
It depends on which part of Connecticut. I would say you'll probably find a 50-50 mix, but I know people that are both. So, but I mean, I know people from where I live that for some reason are Yankee fans, and I have no idea why.
Oh yeah.
But they don't. People aren't really nice to them. So.
So what other since we're now talking about TV shows from this era, I know this was still during the Silver Age of Nickelodeon. This was after Fairly Odd Parents and Invader Zim aired.
Yeah, Invader Zim. I did not care for that show.
Oh
I
yeah.
know why. I watched a video the other day on YouTube. It was one of those like 10 shows, like forgotten shows on Nickelodeon, like those things. And it had brought up a few things I forgot, and it was like that Martians show, and it was all like it kind of looked like Jimmy Neutron a little bit, but that was an awful show, and I had forgotten about that.
Oh man, who can blame? Who can blame
love
you?
Jimmy Neutron,
Who can blame you for saying that?
Yeah.
That show was so terrible. I could see why it wasn't on that long.
Yeah. Speaking of terrible shows, wasn't it also this time when they had a show called Yakety Yak?
Maybe it might be later than that.
Why that sounds so familiar? Because I think I remember seeing it when it was on.
See what up?
What about Disney Channel?
Oh,
Disney Channel.
Yeah. I actually
like the That's So Raven era.
Oh yes, That's So Raven, Kim Possible.
Yeah.
And
I like the Lilo and Stitch show.
Oh yes, that one too. Those were actually the last few shows that I had watched on Disney before I stopped watching that channel altogether.
Yeah, you also had a Proud Family. I remember that one.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that Proud Family. Can't forget that one. Those were the 4 shows that I had watched. Those were like the last 4 shows I watched before this, like before I stopped watching Disney.
Proud Family had a lot of like adult themes in it too. Like I remember they had like Easy Jackster. It was about like illegally downloading music, and I was like 7. I had no idea what any of this was.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Actually, when I was in my transitioning from my early to my core childhood years, I actually watched Disney Channel actually more than Nickelodeon because, like I said before, I had 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make me watch it
with them equally. And I started watching, it was Fox Family, then it was ABC Family, now it's Freeform. I started watching that too as I got more into the core childhood years. There were a few shows I liked a lot on there.
I also remember this.
Wasn't it called ABC Family by this point?
What was it?
Wasn't it called ABC Family by this point?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what point. I know when I first started watching, when I was about 6 or 7, it was Fox Family, and at some point.
Because it was Fox Family unfortunately didn't live long as a channel. Like I was looking at the history behind it. It said it started in 1998, and it ended in 2001. But for that year, and then it like later in the year, so it was practically there for 3 years. And the one show that comes to mind when thinking about that channel is the DKC show.
The what show?
The Donkey Kong show. They had that show on Fox Family when it was. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that one.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's one of that was
I've
like the
heard
one of the
that.
most. That was like one of the most significant shows of that time for that channel.
Yeah, that show's
I
pretty
don't remember F
infamous.
Club.
Yeah.
F Club 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the topic of 2003, I remember this movie special from 2003, a Stuart Little one.
Stuart Little. I think I may have seen that special you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it was like with Jonathan Lipnicki, you mean?
I think so.
Yeah. I used to watch a lot of like the DComs during that era, and I kind of looked this up on Wikipedia recently, and I didn't realize that like they don't really make them anymore. They have like 2 a year or something. Where like when I was like really the core, audience for when I was like 6 to 10 or whatever, they made them like once a month. Like they would have like 13 of those a year. And it's so crazy to me how it's like a big deal
Wait.
now. And
Are you talking about
premiere.
Are you talking about the Disney the original movies?
Yes,
Oh yes, I definitely remember all those.
I
Like
love those.
me too. And then, but for me,
Some are really
I
good.
I didn't really. I mean, I watched them, but I stopped watching them like as the Disney Channel was transitioning. But
Yeah,
I do
I would
remember.
say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say probably High School Musical. Probably I mean, I definitely did watch that, but I would say maybe
Oh,
the High
yeah,
School
me
Musical
too.
2. I don't know. That probably marks when I kind of stopped really watching the channel. Like
Yeah.
once Hannah Montana was pretty big and it started like the Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh yeah, I definitely avoided all those shows. But the only time I ever watched Hannah Montana was because of my younger cousins. Like they were the only ones who was watching that stuff. Like I had said before, I had started watching the Disney Channel back in 2003 or 4. So this was like 2 or 3 years before Hannah Montana came around. So but yeah, that was like the only time I was watching those channels. It was because of my cousins. I mean, the
You
show.
see, I was actually watching the cartoons more the older I got. So like I was so when I was like 12 or so, I was definitely still wanting to watch like Lilo and Stitch and Kim Possible. And honestly, I would still watch them if they were still on.
Yeah.
'Cause I still watch
I-
cartoons. So.
I still like watching Max and Ruby for some reason.
Yeah.
I can watch Sophia the First. It's really calming to me.
I don't know why. That's just like
Max and
I watched Star
Ooh.
versus the Forces of Evil and Gravity
That
Falls
show-
pretty
That show
religiously.
sounds so familiar, and
I watched it a lot
about
during my childhood.
that show. There was this comment about that the character Ruby was such a B, I think, to her little brother out of nowhere. But yeah, but I remember seeing that comment like several years back, I think. Like she
What?
like
Yeah,
like some people like somebody said that Ruby had the
Wait.
attitude problem.
Wait, man, it's not letting Mario join this hangout.
Oh, is he trying?
Yep.
Oh.
So what do you
Yeah.
guys play like for video games as we get more into like the mid 2000s? This is getting more
Well, this-
to like PS2 and
Yeah.
This is when I would have had all of them: PS2, GameCube, Xbox.
yeah, original
Oh,
like
man. So many games from that period that I had played over time. Biggest one that comes to mind. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys know this because maybe it depends on your ethnic background, but I remember playing these Def Jam fighting games.
So about the PS2 so my cousin first got the PS2 in Christmas of 2002, and I got it a year later in Christmas of 03.
Yeah, we
So
had
the
the
first-
small PS2.
Yeah, so the first game he used to play on it was right now my favorite game on the system is Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy.
The game that we played at my house was Burnout. And
I think I've heard of
played that. We probably played that, I don't even know, probably till like through like 2010 at least. Like we still played that. And I don't remember exactly which edition we had. Like we played at a friend's house and then we finally got it. Yeah, like hours, just crash each other. That's what we did.
You also still had Tony Hawk games coming out, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh yeah.
And I
Not only
believe-
the Pro Skater, but also the Underground.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is pretty much the tail end for the heyday for those games.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably related to just, skating in general. It kind of started falling out of favor. It's like, I know it's still not around, but it's like this cool thing that it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Not only skating games were really good this time, but also snowboarding games. Like this is when the SSX games were coming out.
I feel like the games, like in the graphics, just like they got the quality like improved a lot just going from PS1 to PS2.
Yeah, in fact, there was actually one guy, Adam Corley, who pointed this out, that the 6th generation, in a way, parallels the 4th gaming generation, and the 5th parallels the 3rd. In that, in the 3rd and 5th, people were still new to this technology for 2D in the 3rd gen and 3D in the 5th gen. Like people didn't understand how it worked, which is why the games were very crude. While during the 4th and 6th gen, they improved and mastered it, which is why some of the best games of 2D and 3D games came in both of those eras.
What came out from movies in this era? Though this is like probably Pixar like really picking up speed. Like you have like, The Incredibles.
Finding Nemo.
Yes, definitely Finding Nemo.
Shark
I feel like Finding Nemo for me came out. It was getting towards, it was getting like later in my childhood, but it was one of those things I guess that like still made me feel kind of like a kid or like a little kid at that time because I was starting to watch more like adult things or whatever. So it's probably like one of like the last like real childhood things for me.
See, also in 2002, I also saw this Lilo and Stitch, the movie.
Yes. Yeah, I love Lilo and Stitch. I feel like I was really the right age for that when that came out because I was probably the same age like as Lilo was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like 7.
Like I also wonder if a Stitch's character design. I wonder if that was trying to capitalize off of Pokemon or something.
It probably was, and I read something a little bit about on this.
Okay,
that,
I'm here.
I had forgotten about that.
I'm here.
The Disney park
You guys.
with the Stitch stuff.
You guys had a good conversation about how much did I miss? Jesus. I did not see that message.
We're talking about like the 5 media, video games, movies, music of our childhood.
Okay. Dang, I missed out a lot. Okay, because man, you guys talk about the 2000s. I was like, dang, I could talk all day with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Mario, since you want to catch up on everything you experienced in the Y2K era, up until 2001.
For what I experienced, I mean, I was pretty young that era, so I don't really experience too much. I was watching that era really. We were watching PBS Kids. I remember. Yeah, that.
We talked about Arthur for a while.
Oh yeah. That was one of the shows. Arthur, Dragon Tales, all that.
PB&J Otter.
Oh, I never seen that.
Wait, PB&J Otter? Oh yeah, I remember that show.
I love that.
Oh, man.
I watched it.
Polioli, with Stanley. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. There's a lot of. Even though these shows were for preschoolers, I'm not gonna lie. I actually did watch those shows up for a long time, like well past that age.
Yeah, I bet.
So yeah, like shows like Blue's Clues, Kipper.
Yeah, Blue's Clues. Yeah, a lot of older
Maggie
kids.
and the Ferocious Beast.
Yeah, a lot of older.
I watched.
A lot of older kids love Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues is something that older kids enjoy.
Yeah, particularly the Blue's Clues episodes with Steve, but before they got Joe in there.
Yeah, I don't really remember Joe.
Yeah, me either. I saw a little bit of him, but I was not really watching him. But by the time Joe came around, I think I was not really watching much of the.
Yeah, I never really watched Blue's Clues growing up because they didn't have cable back then. So, but I did remember getting a Blue's Clues VHS tape back in like 2001. So.
I had a handy dandy notebook.
Yeah.
I
was really disappointed because it wasn't paper, it's like plastic, and I would try to use my crayon on the plastic and it did not work.
Yeah, not only did I have the handy dandy notebook, but I also had the thinking chair.
Yeah. But then you guys talking about like early to like 2000, 2003. That was the era that, man, I need. That's the era I could talk about. I'm nostalgic about. You guys think about. You guys are into Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, like the crappy shows that time period. Man, like for me, I mean, I definitely remember watching Jimmy Neutron, the Boy Genius movie. I remember watching that movie. I remember first. I mean, I was watching Kids WB a lot by the time I started like kindergarten. Like I was watching Pokemon. Like this was during Johto. This is when he was in Johto. I was watching Stack Shock. I was watching Jackie Chan. Like man.
Isn't the Jackie Chan cartoon?
Yeah, he's come on Kids WB.
Yes. Oh yes, the Jackie Chan. I remember that. I remember watching that. Oh, and Static Shock. Don't forget Static Shock. That was one of my shows too.
So if you guys want to get talking about like the mid 2000s, one thing that's really interesting in that era was after you had the Disney Renaissance, you had a lot of those Disney movies in the 2000s that were like, they were considered bad. And it's funny because it's kind of my era, but at the same time that like now I know what people are talking about. Like, I mean, I like Lilo and Stitch, not everybody did, but there were some movies that were like The Home on the Range and some of these like some of these ones during that time that they were just very like unmemorable for Disney movies. It was Emperor's New Groove, which I liked, and I watched the series, and I liked, but a lot of adults kind of didn't. It's not really like an iconic Disney movie. A lot of people forget about it.
Yeah,
but it was Pixar's era. It really was not Disney's.
Yeah. And DreamWorks. DreamWorks also had a great time with that era too. Like, not only did they have Shrek, but they also had other movies. Even though these would have came later, like they would have had Over the Hedge. They would have had, I think. Shark Tale is Pixar, right?
Shark Tale is DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, DreamWorks. Okay,
yeah,
DreamWorks.
Okay, DreamWorks really started to pick off, like, after Shrek came out, that's when DreamWorks really took off because, I mean, you had, like, Chicken Run, but, like, that didn't really...
Oh, yeah, Chicken Run.
Yeah, it was
Shrek pretty much... But Shrek pretty much changed the game, like, as far as, like, DreamWorks. I mean, DreamWorks, like, a threat to Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually remember when Chicken Run was like out, went into 2000. I actually remember when that was like out in 2000.
Yeah, that was a weird little animation era.
Like 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, like around 2001.
Yeah. I also remember as far as gaming goes, I mean 2002. That's when I got my Game Boy Advance. I remember playing Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario Advance 2. I remember playing. I remember playing the PS1 games with my cousin, like Spider-Man, the Spider-Man PS1 game. I remember playing SmackDown 2 on the PS1. So, yeah, 2002 was definitely that's when I say, man, that's when definitely what I consider the start of my, like, core childhood, because that's when I was really I was in school, I was into gaming, I was starting watching, like, really getting cartoons at the time. Then, like, 2003. Oh man, 2003, man. I can't believe it was 15 years ago, bro. I taught the kids born 2003 now a lot now. Oh my gosh. So 2003, man, that's when I got the SP that Christmas. I remember getting a PS1 on my 7th birthday. I remember going to my cousin's house and played the original Xbox. Play like Dead or Alive 2. We played. He had a GameCube, and then we had Sunshine for GameCube. Like, yeah, 2000. And then I remember when Ruby and Sapphire came out. That was the game that changed Pokemon. Like, it really did change a lot. The games from like the first 2 gens were changed.
I believe Slowpoke even stated. I don't know if he was being serious. That he thought that was a bad Pokemon game.
What about like Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you guys remember Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
I did mention Yu-Gi-Oh.
2004, that was like huge.
That was another. that was another big thing of my childhood. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't really into it as much as I was.
Banned them at my school.
As I was the Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh was pretty. Like I used to watch like every. I used to watch like every Saturday. You know, every day when I come home from school. Like that was.
Yeah, every day on the bus, I'd see students playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the bus.
I was really the right age for it because I was 4th grade when that was like the big thing. And there were these kids for like our show and tell or whatever we did. They would come in with these like enormous like binders or like photo albums. They would have pages and pages like of how many Yu-Gi-Oh cards they had. It was ridiculous. Like, it was expensive.
Yeah.
How many Yu-Gi-Oh cards they had. See, I don't really remember Pokemon cards. I more watched the show, but
yeah, the cards. Yeah, Pokemon cards kind of died off after once Yu-Gi-Oh came out. It kind of really died off. Because I remember once Yu-Gi-Oh came out, my cousins just like stopped collecting Pokemon cards altogether. Like he just like stopped collecting Pokemon cards. But I see making a comeback now with the younger generation.
You can thank Pokemon Go for all that.
I know, but even before Pokemon Go, like I was seeing kids talk about Pokemon cards, and I was like, oh wow, I haven't seen anybody collect those like in years, like since the early 2000s, and then once I got to like mid teens, that's when I started seeing Pokemon cards become a thing again.
Is there an era that you guys think that like Pokemon was ever like dead or died down a lot?
I would say the mid 2000s,
pretty much the mid to late.
Well, really mid 2000s, like Gen 3.
The mid to late aughts, and maybe even into the early 10s a bit.
Well, I'd say the late 2000s, it came back because Diamond Pearl is still the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. So
yeah,
so Diamond Pearl was actually pretty big. Probably the biggest generations post Pokemania actually. Gen 3 was one.
The problem with Diamond Pearl is that those games got pretty much overshadowed by games like Galaxy, Brawl, Halo 3.
I mean, but it's still big for like Pokemon fans. Like it got because a lot of people, especially a lot of the younger kids who were born like in the early 2000s, they talk about Diamond Pearl a lot. A lot of them say. A lot of them who not even Pokemon fans today are like saying Diamond Pearl, man, that was the game. Like they talk, Diamond Pearl is like I had her in high regards to like the 2000 borns, like By
the way, this wasn't. Do you always remember this toy fad? I believe it was called the dog and the cat.
The dog. Do you remember Furbies? I remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Furbies.
I got one.
Oh yeah.
I remember my sister had one. I remember seeing one of those when I was like, young. Then it came back. It kept dying to come back.
Shut it off.
It kept dying to come back, coming back. It was like
yeah, that's what they do.
It kept dying.
Yeah, I literally took the batteries out of mine, and it wouldn't stop. And like it would come on randomly, like at night. It'd be like the middle of the night, and it would wake me up and scare the crap out of me. Something would start like crying or whatever. I hated it. I buried it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I hated my Furby.
Remember Beanie Babies?
Cute.
Yeah.
I think I remember. I mean, Beanie Babies would have been the collectibles. I mean, I didn't collect them myself.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure my sister did.
I remember they used to get them out of McDonald's. He used to have them as Happy Meal toys.
Yeah, I like would get the toy and like not.
They used to get those out. I remember getting a Kim Possible Happy Meal toy. Since you mentioned Kim Possible, Ali, I remember actually getting a Kim Possible toy, Happy Meal toy. And it was for the boys too. It was kind of weird. It was for the.
Okay, this is going way back.
Yeah. When it comes to like female related stuff, I don't really mind. Like if there was a Powerpuff a girl toy, I wouldn't mind. If it was Kim Possible, I didn't mind. If it was an Amy Rose toy from like Sonic, I didn't mind. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Going way back.
By the way, since you just brought up Sonic. This period of the mid zeros is also when Sonic was really starting to go downhill.
Oh yeah.
He didn't really have anything that was interesting coming out.
Sonic Heroes.
Aside from your fan, well, Sonic Heroes, correct.
That was like the last thing before he just like fell off.
But then you also have. I mean, people may have not liked the game, but you still have your fans of those of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
I think that was the first E10 game, the first E10 rated game.
yeah, I think so because the E10 rating was created in 2005 when that game.
Yeah, I remember when that game had a lot of hype in 2005. I remember reading about the game in the magazines.
Right.
Yeah.
Not only didn't have a lot of hype, but that was the first game in the Sonic series where it introduced where like the characters were actually saying bad words. Like Shadow was saying the most
Yeah.
out of all.
Yeah,
Really? That's
yeah,
weird.
I think that was a pathetic attempt to make the game edgy.
They're trying to make it feel more to teens.
Yeah, because a lot of times when they said words like "damn" and "hell," it seemed very forced.
Yeah.
Like they just wanted to say it just for the hell of it, not for.
I mean, it'll work better for Sonic because Sonic character is more like the kind of like I'm gonna say this, the more
innocent.
Yeah, the more reckless, well, kind of innocent but reckless type of character. Because when he first came out, Sonic was supposed to be the edgy, anti Mario. Like it would work better with Sonic, especially like in the early '90s when he was like, "I'm too cool for school" type of in the early '90s.
One thing I remember from 2005 was that's when it was all about the plasma screen TV.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They were like $5,000 or something then, but that's like, and you don't even hear that term anymore, like plasma. But then that was it.
Yeah.
This was still when a lot of plasmas, because a lot of the times we associate plasma with being HD TVs, but that's not the case because plasma TVs have been around for a long time. I know they were around in the 90s. I don't know if they were around. They may have been around earlier, maybe in the 80s. I'm not sure, but I know
you're talking about the big square, the big.
The flat screen TVs.
Oh yeah. By 2005, that's when I started seeing more of them on like TV shows and like more. They started getting advertised more in 2005. Like that's when I first like really started seeing them because before the flat screens, you had the rear projection TVs, some big like it looked like CRT TVs, but they were like huge. Yeah.
Like one of the best things besides the definition is that a lot of these flat screen TVs are way lighter than those CRTVs were.
Yeah, them things were heavy.
We still have the big boxes at my house. We have a couple.
Yeah, but I remember my sister getting a plasma TV in 2005. Like she was like the first person. I was like, holy crap! This is what flat screen TV. This is so cool.
We actually have an old school flat screen TV at my house. I believe it was released in '99 or 2000.
Oh, really? Dang, that's OG.
We have a TV older than me in my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a TV from like 1992 or 3.
Oh, it's one of those digital.
It still works.
We call them one of the Mac. We call them TVs. Machine had talked about those TVs. TVs from like the late '80s, early '90s. Where you had we call them. I forgot to tell it. What do you call them? The term we call them. And touch. I forgot the term. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, the TV. Yeah, the plasma TV that I was talking about. It doesn't even have a component cable ports.
Like HDMI, they don't have the HDMI in it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it doesn't have HDMI, but also doesn't have those cables that are red, green, and blue.
Oh yeah, those.
Oh, they don't. Oh, don't they still have them?
Yeah, they still have them now. I'm talking about the TV I had that was the flat screen. That's from '99 or 2000.
Oh yeah. I would understand that because those cables weren't really popular just yet. And it was mainly the AV stuff.
Yeah.
Our TV has red, white, and yellow, I think.
Yeah, that's
red, white, and yellow is like the most common on all TVs.
Yeah.
They use that for game. And those are the kind of like Mario was about to say, those were. Go ahead, Mario.
Oh, because I was about to say they were using that for game consoles from like the NES up to the Wii U, like from the '80s to like early 10s.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, not.
I'm not sure about for the NES or the Super. Well, the Super Nintendo had it, but the NES, I'm not.
The NES had it, but most the NES had composite ports, but most people were using the coax at the time.
Or the R switch. That's one thing I do remember using then.
Okay, random toy from the early 2000s. Did anyone have Hey Clips?
What?
I remember
Hit
it.
Clip.
I remember Hit Clips.
I was obsessed with.
Oh,
my Hit
yeah.
Clips.
Oh, Hit Clips.
Mine
Yeah,
was
I
a little
don't remember
boombox.
those.
It had 18s on it, and I think my brother had Who Let the Dogs Out. And it played like 30 seconds, and I thought it was like the coolest thing.
Oh, nice.
It's
Yeah, my
so
sisters only
obsolete now, though. Like
Yeah, my sisters
hilariously.
only had one of those because my parents were so and they didn't want to keep buying them because they just wanted it. So they only had one Hit Clip. I believe it was either Britney Spears, I think. But they only bought.
Like 30 seconds, and they were like $5. They were expensive.
Yeah, that's why my parents stopped buying them. That they started buying them
It was a
CDs.
ripoff. Yeah. When did you guys start getting MP3 players?
Oh yeah, I think this.
MP3s. I didn't get that until 07.
I didn't get mine. MP3, so I was late. I was super late to that game. So
I was super late.
I got my first MP3 to like 2010 when they were like dead.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
2009. I got my iPod Touch, and that was my first one because I always had to get hand-me-down stuff, and that was like the first time I got a new piece of tech on my own.
Yeah. I first got my MP3 in 2007, and it was loaded with a lot of
Was it
pop stuff like a Yellow Card and Green Day.
Was it MP3
Yeah,
or
Green Day in
MP4?
2006.
Was your MP3 Captain? Was it like a USB thing, or was it like what an iPod looks like?
It was more like a USB thing. Like it was.
That's
like
how mine was like.
Yeah, it was nothing like an iPod.
Oh yeah, Cap.
Yeah, mine was. Yeah, that's how mine was. Mine was like a flash drive too.
Yeah.
Was it like was it MP3 or MP4? Because MP4, I know that was starting to come out on that time.
I didn't have an MP4 player. We just got in I had an iPod by 2009.
Oh yeah, but since we talk about the mid, we want to move on to the late 2000s.
When did you get your first cell phones?
Oh, I got mine pretty early.
I actually didn't
hand-me-down flip camera phone for a while.
I actually didn't get mine until very late. Actually, when I was 14.
Okay. I got mine. Mine was the first. Mine was a singular flip phone. So yeah, I got mine really early.
You guys remember when the Razor phone in 2006?
Oh yes, the Razor
thing
phone
to have.
Oh yeah, I think my cousin had that phone. Yeah, the Razor was.
Then I would say it's probably that era that the like malls started having like all those kiosks and stuff like for phones. This is back when they were like Nokia.
Yeah, and since you brought up malls, this is really when and I believe even they stated this in a post when goth emo really exploded with Green Day's American Idiot. That was a huge album.
2005.
Yeah.
So,
that was definitely the era for that. And I would say that's probably when it peaked, and I would say it kind of once that kind of calmed down, the whole kind of fuss around that album, I would say it was like done after that.
Well, it continued a bit until I believe it changed in 2007 once he had Paramore's Ride. That's when it sort of changed into a bit more poppy like scene.
Yeah, emo scene absorbed that about 2007.
But since you talk about since you guys hey Rainbow.
Yeah, because the thing is, in 2005 and 2006, it was still that's probably when it was at its peak because it also had groups like Hawthorne Heights, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco.
Do you guys remember? Since you guys talk about cell phones of that era, you guys remember the Sidekick?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, that was the coolest phone. That was like the coolest phone in the world to me at the time, man. Like it was a keyboard phone. You could turn it around 360. Like still to this day, no phone does that. Like the Sidekick came out. The first Sidekick is always rainbow. That's crazy.
And if people didn't have that phone, they had the chocolate phone.
Yeah, the Sidekick, the chocolate. You had.
Does anyone remember the version of Freaky Friday that came out with Lindsay Lohan in it? And it was probably around like 2004, 2005. Lindsay, like, she played in like this like girl rock band or whatever. That was like very Avril Lavigne-esque. Like I feel like that's like her in that movie is like a good example of that kind of.
Was this also the same year that
edgy
she also started
goth
Mean Girls?
thing.
I mean, I thought Freaky Friday came out 2002, 2003. I thought it came out earlier than that.
Yeah, in
Freaky
2000,
Before I
Friday?
even found out about like decadology, for some reason I thought it came out in like 1999.
There's been several Freaky Fridays.
yeah.
There's
I
a
know.
new one.
actually-
There's a new decom out
There's
this
actually,
summer.
and there's actually an older, and there's been a very older
70s.
one from the 70s as well.
Yeah, with Jodie Foster was in it. I've seen all of them. There's one. Yeah, there's one from like 1993. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the decom now because I'm like invested.
Because the one, because I'm like, this is Freaky Friday. Because
And now there's a song, and now there's a song with that title.
Yeah. This did brought up Lindsay Lohan that want to bring this up, Mean Girls. I remember that one.
Yeah, that definitely was a big.
The last movie where Lindsay Lohan was practically innocent, and then everything after that, she was just a.
Her character in that movie was pretty instant. She was a homeschool girl going to high school.
Yeah.
A homeschool girl, like it was pretty rare. Can you imagine being homeschooled like in the 2000s? Like that was, I mean, it's rare today, but man, back in those days, like.
I wish I was homeschooled. I want to have to be subjected to that house.
Because people was, home. Dang. I mean, I'll see now.
I knew someone who was homeschooled.
Oh,
yeah, I had a friend in high school that was homeschooled.
I know a few people who was homeschooled that I went to college with. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more common this decade than was the previous one.
Yeah, because they're homeschooling them on the internet now.
Keep getting worse and worse.
Yeah, because of the way the direction education is going. I mean,
it's tanky.
I don't want to bring the whole politics thing, but yeah, I don't know if you guys follow up on education, but yeah, I heard it's been getting worse because of the person who's overriding it. Not just that, but the person who's doing it, like she's not doing anything to change it for the better. Like she's trying to make it even worse. Yeah.
One more thing I want
to actually like learn.
Because I don't think we've touched too much upon this, but the shows from the mid-zeros, like Danny Phantom, Avatar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You remember those shows, Rainbow?
Yeah, my friend watched them a lot.
Oh yeah, Danny's named after Danny Phantom, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he liked that.
And then you also had Mr. Meaty and
that was weird.
Yeah, that show was
Scratch.
My friend loved watching American Dragon.
Oh yes, I watched that.
Oh yeah,
show.
American Dragon. Oh yeah, I like that. I mean, I wasn't watching Disney by that point, but I wouldn't deny that American Dragon was one of the best shows right there.
That's why I say I'm still watching the cartoons more than live action.
Yeah, the mid-2000s.
And to this day, they're still better.
I could say.
Yeah, 2004 to 2007 was the golden age for T-Nick also. That's when you had Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified, Zoe 101.
Oh, yeah, I love
Fabulous.
Yeah, I watched Zoe 101 a lot.
You had
and then on the Disney, and then
you had the Romeo show. You had Judge Jordan.
Oh yeah, Lil Romeo. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had T-Nick, man. That was.
Yeah, I watched
all that was actually still on, wasn't it? Like we
yeah,
a little bit before
Zoe
101.
Like all that was canceled in 2000, but it was brought back it ran from 2002 to 2005. That was the first time we actually had a Jamie Lynn Spears on there.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. I watched that version of it.
I had no clue that all that was actually revived until I read like the history of it, because all that I'm more familiar with was the one that Kenan and Kel was on.
Yeah.
Oh, like the 90s.
The one. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. All that. I wasn't even aware that they revived that because I don't remember seeing that one that often.
I know we did 10th anniversary all that in 05, 04 or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that either, that they did an anniversary on that.
Yeah. Okay, well, since you mid 2000s, I definitely.
Last thing I want to bring up about the mid zeros. This is when the first Pixar movie that was more polarized in opinion, Cars, came out.
Oh yeah, 2006. Yeah, 2006. 2006 was a pretty interesting year. Cars. You had DreamWorks had Over the Hedge that year. You mentioned earlier Over the Hedge film that year.
we also mentioned about 2006 in one of the streams that 2006 was probably the weakest year in terms of not console releases, but in terms of video game releases.
People hate on 2006 a lot when it comes to music. Did you see my thread on Poppedia? Everybody voted 2006, and for the best year of music of the 2000s, like pretty much a lot of people voted 2009.
I'm gonna have to agree with Rainbows on that. I mean, I understand that again because people keep pushing this genre. I can understand that a lot of people hated the whole Snap ringtone. I mean, yes, that stuff was obviously terrible, and that's why it doesn't get replayed ever again or anything. But to just sit there and just think that was the only stuff that was out there was wrong. Because you also still had rock music. You also still had non-ringtone hip hop as well, and you also had all the mainstream pop. I mean, do people not remember Shakira or Nelly Furtado?
Yeah, that's when
or
Hips
even
Don't Lie
Timbaland?
came out. Ponder Replay.
Yeah, and they liked 2009 a lot.
I'm surprised 2009
I'm not actually too surprised because a lot of the people that voted in that poll are a lot younger. Like,
true. True.
Like if it was mostly 90s words, I'm sure 2009 would be getting the most hate, or up there with 2006.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because 2009, that was when Lil Wayne was that's when Young Money was at the top. Man, everybody was hating on Lil Wayne that year.
I know B. Chris on In the Zeros loved 2009.
Yeah, he said that's his favorite year of music.
Yeah,
and he was 23. He was like 23 that year.
He was born in 1985.
Oh, yeah, 24. Oh snap! I forgot. You weren't. Dang.
Yeah. I don't know what month he was born though.
Dang, he owes J. Cole. He's owes J. Cole.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
I'm surprised someone that old, like 2009, actually.
But yeah, I can understand.
My sister, born in late 1996, liked it.
Oh yeah.
I can understand. But I can understand the people's hate for like the late 2000s music and all. But don't just sit there and act like that. It was just all ringtone rap.
Yeah.
There was like way more. I mean, outside of that, you also had people like Fergie and Sean Kingston, whose most songs were kind of terrible too. Well, when it comes to Fergie, I mean. Some songs like Fergalicious, okay, I mean London Bridge, I can understand people didn't like that, but she had a few songs after that were actually decent. Like she had a song called Big Girls Don't Cry, that was actually decent for her, as well as Clumsy. So that's
I remember Big Girls Don't Cry in like early 07. Yeah, Big Girls Don't Cry.
Yeah, those are some decent songs by her that I can actually see that would have been good for at least for people by her.
I'm surprised. Sorry, Nerdy, go ahead.
And then also along with that, there's some other genre. There's another song that I also remember from that year. There's a song by Natasha Bedingfield called "Love Like This." That was actually a good song from that era. That doesn't seem to get remembered for some reason, even though it was very popular.
Yeah, I mean ringtone rap. I mean, I'm surprised how big it was because like when I think of because like most people was into ring because like even though rap by this point was like already like were globally dominating the charts, it was still pretty much. It's still mostly like most kids who was like into rap I knew of back in those days were mostly like urban, inner city, urban black kids. Like I wasn't seeing too many white kids that was into like the Snap ringtone stuff. So the fact that Jacqueline said that most of our school was into ringtone rap says a lot about hip hop's popularity in the 2000s. Like she went to a private school, and that's like
and she said she heard a lot of that music then.
And that's like the opposite demographic. That's like what you would least expect listen to, like songs like "Shoulder Lean" or "Lean with a Rocket."
I knew like of like the private school kids I knew the ones I knew they were really into hip hop too.
I mean, cause I was expecting to be more into like pop, like Gwen Stefani or Shakira or like more like the pop stuff, Justin Timberlake.
Or R&B, because again R&B. Everybody can enjoy that genre regardless of ethnic background. So, I mean, there's a lot of white people that also, and even like the Latinos that I knew that enjoyed R&B back at the time. Like one song that comes to mind when I see a lot of people play, like there was this song called "Bed" by Jay Holiday, and I remember seeing a lot of people play that song.
Oh yeah, that song's. Oh yeah, I remember that song. My cousin loved that song. I'll put you to bed. That song. Yeah.
I think about the psychology with like some of those white private school kids, like a lot of them, especially like the ones I knew, it was like a group like a Catholic. private school in my town.
Oh, right.
And like they want to rebel like really bad. Like they really want to listen to stuff that like their parents don't like. So it kind of makes sense from like that perspective.
Yeah, I think once it gets to the late 2000s, that's when that's when you really start to see like that's when a snap. I mean, rap was still kind of popular in the late 2000s, but it just had the auto tune stuff like T-Pain. You know the rise of T-Pain. You saw the rise of
I'm on a boat. Was that 2009? I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
either 2009 or 10.
You saw the rise of Kanye West.
2009.
Kanye West was
Yeah, Kanye still had a great time. Kanye still had a lot of good music in that period. Not only did he have Heartless, but he also had other songs like
Stronger.
Stronger. Yes, Stronger. He had Flashing Lights. He also had another song.
Can't Tell Me Nothing.
And then which one? Yeah, Can't Tell Me Nothing. And then he had another song after that called I'm Coming Home Again. He had that song too.
He had
that's about when he was on South Park, I think, about 2000.
Oh yeah, with the fish sticks episode. Yeah.
Gay
fish.
That was fire.
That was a good era for South Park, like the late 2000s.
Yeah. Also, that was like the last hurrah for like rock music. Late 2000s.
Yeah, that was what I was about to get into. In 2000, I believe this song actually came out in late 06, but it was huge in 2007. It's an acoustic song. Hey There, Delilah.
Oh yeah, by the Plain White T's.
Oh, Plain White T's.
Yeah, that was huge in like 2007.
Oh, it was on
I remember that. I think I heard that song. I believe, unless it was another song by that band I remember hearing.
Yeah, Plain White T's. I remember there was
on
iCarly.
They had a couple hits.
I remember being on iCarly on one episode in the first season.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. I remember hearing one of their songs in that show too. Because because like when it comes to like stuff like on those channels, I didn't really mind watching stuff like way past my childhood. So yeah, I tuned into iCarly when it was kind of beginning.
Yeah, I believe their other hit was I believe their lyrics was one thing to say, 3 words for you.
Yeah,
I believe that was the song.
Yeah. I know this one rock song called Very Little Secret. I mean, that's came out since on that era.
I believe that came out in 05 or 06. It was an All-American Reject song.
Because I remember my cousin used to play that song a lot.
And then they had another song in like 08, 09 called Gives You Hell. I remember hearing that song too a lot.
Yeah, it also had 3 Days Grace.
3 Days Grace.
Animal, I Have Become, Pain, Never Too Late.
It was about when Paramore came out, right around like 2008.
Yeah, 2007 is actually when they released their Riot album. That's the one that had Misery Business.
Oh yes. Oh, I remember hearing those. I remember hearing some Paramore songs in Saints Row 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had their songs in there too. And then within the late, and then a lot of other songs in the late 2000s period that I remember hearing before electro pop got bigger. Like, I mean, not only was there like stuff like Timbaland, but there was also a lot of other songs, a lot of mainstream pop songs too. I mean, you have people like Leon Lewis. You also have people like the Pussycat Dolls.
Oh yeah,
even though their songs was kind of like, even though their songs was kind of terrible. And then Mariah Carey, she still had her last songs coming up at the time.
Single Ladies came out in 2008, I believe.
Yeah, do y'all remember the song When I Grow Up?
Oh yeah. I remember that song.
I remember that song was popular. I liked that.
What song came? Who did that song?
Let's see.
Pussycat Dolls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They did that song in Don't Ya.
Oh yeah, Don't Ya Wish Your Girlfriend Was.
And everyone would sing that.
Also, an album Girlfriend, that was big then.
Yeah, Girlfriend. I remember hearing that.
And what is that? I Kissed a Girl. Like that's when Katy Perry made her debut.
I Kissed a Girl. Oh yeah, I remember hearing that.
That was very much Katy Perry's big career.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember a song called Let It Rock?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that song.
Oh yeah, Kid Rock.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well late 2000s.
It wasn't Kid Rock. Wasn't it Kevin
It was
Kid
Rock. Let it rock, let it rock. We talk about that song, right?
This is also the talent.
I think that was Kevin Rudolph who
yeah, it was.
Yeah, they also had
because J Rock had I don't think J Rock was popular at that time.
Oh, let me look that up because I'm pretty sure Kid Rock.
The person who did the song was the person who did the song Let It Rock. That was Kevin Rudolph. And he had also and then he also had Rick Ross, I think, in one part of it.
Oh yeah, you are right. Oh dang, you are right. Dang.
I don't know where you got J Rock from.
I know I hit a Kid Rock song.
Unless you meant Jay Sean.
So I know I heard a Kid Rock song during that time, early 09.
Okay, Rock. Oh, you said Kid Rock. I'm sorry. I think you said J Rock. You said Kid Rock. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Do you guys remember the song "Beautiful Girls"? I think that's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Sean Kingston?
They made a parody.
Oh yeah, I heard that song.
They made a parody version called "Ugly Girls."
Oh my god!
I could have got the ringtone.
And do y'all also remember the song "Fire Burning"? Came out in 2000.
Yeah, Fire Burning.
Not exactly.
Yeah. And then he had like "Shawty, I Could Take You There."
Yeah, one song I remember from 2000. One song I remember from that era that was big. I know. Oh, Rainbow's going like this. This is what 2009 is when Drake really made his debut. When like best I ever had. When Drake made his debut. that song
do you guys remember "Find Your Love"? That song.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
song.
It came out 2010. Yeah, but it was.
Yeah,
Drake he was on a.
That was like the summer song of 2010. I remember hearing it back then.
Yeah, I think that was more the summer. I think that was definitely the summer song.
Was California Girls for me.
Oh yeah, California Girls. Oh yeah, that was another summer song. Yeah, California Girls. That was another one.
Yeah, but I remember.
You know what's so funny about that year? There's a lot of summer songs I heard from that whole summer that I'd never hear people mention. Not only was it also "Find Your Love" and "California Girls," but I remember hearing some other songs. Like there was one song called "Fantasy Girl" by Baby Bash. There was another one called "Cooler Than Me" by Mike Posner. There was another one called "Dynamite" by Tayo Cruz. Oh yeah.
Okay, Dynamite. It's like the most popular karaoke song, I swear. Dynamite.
Oh yeah, I hear Dynamite a lot. But yeah, I know.
Do y'all remember a song called "Rock That Body" by the Black Eyed Peas? I heard that song a lot in the summer of 2010.
What was that big Black Eyed Peas song in 2009? I can't remember.
I Got a Feeling.
It was 2008. I'm like, what was that?
Boom Boom Pow.
I don't remember now, but so 2000 and late. Boom Boom Pow. That's what, right?
Yeah. But do y'all remember Nerd Game? I think Nerd Game probably remember this song because Shisha Cole, "Sent from Heaven." Oh, that was a summer song.
I remember hearing that song.
"Sent from Heaven." Oh my god, that song. Oh my god, that song's so beautiful. Keisha Cole really sang that song. She sang that song.
And you know something? I wanted to also talk about a little bit more about the late 2000s music. Now, there was a thread that I posted a lot of music in that doesn't seem to be remembered, but there were a lot of music that comes to mind when I talk about that period. It's like all the songs that Akon had. Like he had like the song like "Beautiful" and "I Want You Right Now." And then "I'm So Paid."
Yeah.
And not only him, but there was also some other artists. Like a lot of people don't seem to remember for some typical reason, but this is the period that LFMAO actually came out with. Like they came out with "I Am Miami." Like that was actually the song I heard them first, but before Party Anthem was even a thing.
Really?
I remember hearing that song all the time, and yeah, they were like, "I'm in Miami." It was like so funny.
Oh, you came like 09, 010. Yeah, I remember. I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, like 08. Well, that song came out in 08. I remember hearing it that year. Like.
Really?
The song "I'm in Miami." Yeah, I definitely remember hearing it then.
Dang.
That's when they first came out.
By the way,
when they first came out though.
Looks like "I'm in Miami, bitch," and they changed it to "I'm in Miami, Trek" on the radio.
Or to make it more radio friendly, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And then they had a lesser known song that came out before Party Anthem. It was called "La La La."
I know they made a song about texting. It's girls texting my cell phone. Him and Luke, Lucas made a song called "Girls in My Cell Phone." That song was so stupid.
And this is also when Pitbull was still making music. Like he had like Kali Ocho. He had what's that? What was that? There was a summer song he had in that same period, and it was like "Forget About Your Girlfriend." I was like, what the? And it was like a sexual song, but I remember hearing that one too.
But one artist had to find that era. When I think in late 2000s, I think of Lil Wayne. Like Lil Wayne carried that era.
Yeah, Lil Wayne.
Do
y'all remember? a song called "Birthday Sex."
Oh, you remember that song? That song was
yeah, I actually thought it was about birthdays when I was younger. Like I didn't know what like all that other stuff was.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That means your parents were sheltering you.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. I heard that song a lot because my sister liked that song back then.
My niece heard that song. My niece is about Rainbow's age. She heard that song, but she understands sex.
You guys know there was like 2 versions to that song. Like there was like the slower one, and then on the radio they play like the up tempo one.
But 2009, it had like crazy songs. 2009 was definitely
actually had a lot of good songs. Now that I think about
2009 had it was like the last while, like nerdy. Like I mean, even though 2000, like 2009 was kind of like, Snapchat kind of died that year. It was like the last it was like the last hurrah.
And then Beyonce was still going. Like she had songs like Single Ladies, Diva, Halo, and she had Sweet Dreams.
Cause I know
she had a whole bunch of songs.
Because I know it was 2009. You had Hurricane Chris. What's that song? Halle Berry. That song was
Halle Berry. I remember hearing that.
Do you guys know a song called "When Love Takes Over"?
When Love Takes Over. Is that? I'm trying to remember.
By Kelly Rowland. That came out in 2009.
I think I remember hearing that.
And I remember also from that era and that time period of music. That was when Rihanna. That was when like you had the unfortunate Rihanna.
Rihanna had a lot of songs that year. Yeah, she had Umbrella. She had Rehab.
Then in like 2010, she had like S&M and stuff like that.
I know she made an album like after 2009 after the Chris Brown incident happened, and and then she made a song called "I'm So Hard." Yeah, that song goes hard.
And then
she had like one album where she had the red hair. That album, she had a lot of singles on that album. It was like Only Girl in the World.
2011, 2010.
I know which album you're talking about. I'm trying to remember. The album was called Loud. That's the one where she had the red hair.
That was the album.
Yeah.
And not only did she have Only Girl, but she had like What's My Name. Then she had S&M. And then she had like and then she had a song with Nicki Minaj. I forgot the title of that song. And then she had like another song like I Drink to That. I forgot the name of that one.
Yeah, Cheers to the Freaking Weekend. I'll drink to
that. I remember hearing that song.
Yeah, there was a ton of singles off that album. It was a really successful album for her. I think that was like
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Drink to that.
I also want to bring up these songs right here, back from 2007. Then This Ain't a Scene. It's a Goddamn Arms Race from Fall Out Boy.
Probably. Because I did hear about it from that series. I'm just trying to remember. Did I hear that song then?
Also, the Pretender from Foo Fighters, and this was a big internet song, "Paralyzer" from Finger 11.
Oh yeah. But speaking of 2007, one thing I forgot to mention, my artist forgot to mention, who was defined the late 2000s, Soulja Boy. He defined that.
Oh yeah, Soulja Boy.
Definitely Superman.
Superman. That Soulja Boy. Turn My Swag On. She got
like Soulja Boy would stop saying swag, like they would not stop.
Yeah, the word swag just got big and like
swag. And Justin Bieber made that worse too.
Oh yeah. I believe the word swag was also mentioned in that MIA Paper Plane song.
Yeah, that was a very popular song then.
Okay, and T.I. song, Swagger Like Us, that's what made the term.
Swagger Like Us, yeah, she was in that song. And then he also had another song like Whatever You Like. And then he had like a song with Rihanna called Live Your Life.
Yeah, I Love the Way You Lie.
Yeah.
Well, no, that song was by Eminem, but the one I was talking about, that one with T.I. and Rihanna, that was called
Live Your Life.
Just Live Your Life. Just Live Your Life. That was what it's called with them. But with Eminem and Rihanna, the Love Your Way, I like that song too. So.
Oh, you're nerdy again.
Rihanna did really well post the Chris Brown thing.
Yeah.
Chris Brown
really Chris Brown actually had a few good songs before his obvious incident. Like he had a few called, like he had one called with Kiss Kiss with T-Pain, and then he had one with You, and then he had another song called Forever.
Yeah, but yeah, Nerdy, do you remember the parody videos? The Soulja Boy Crank That parody videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I think I remember some of them.
Like
I can't believe how all those videos are now.
Crank that SpongeBob, crank that Superman, crank that Spider-Man, crank that Batman.
Yeah, I remember those.
Crank that Blue's Clues.
Parody videos actually were great in like 2009.
Crank that. They made crank that Barney one.
watching them.
They made crank that Barney. That's crazy.
Wait, crank up Barney? What?
Crank up Barney.
Yo, my cousin had this on. My brother had that song on the PSP too. He had that song on his PSP. He said, "I'm like, what the crap?" on his PSP. Yo, I was like, yo, they was OD. Yeah, but yeah, man, late 2000s, man. That's a.
Oh yeah.
That was a
like,
fun. I mean, I know it's like hate from like. I mean, I can still understand why, because it was like the recession era, and it was like, you know, the auto-tune era and the electro pop era. Like and the
ringtone rap, that was still big at that time too.
I mean, yeah, because like 2009, I think that was like the last kind of ringtone-ish era, because you had Soulja Boy was still around, Hurricane Chris still had a hit, Mike Jones had his last hit. You had Young Jock, so you had the snap. You had the mid 2000s rapper up still out there.
What's that song by Jeezy? I don't remember my brother.
Young Jeezy? Oh yeah, Young Jeezy had a few songs too.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did.
He had a song.
Survivor. That's the song.
Oh, that came out 05.
Survivor.
Yeah, that came out 05. Yeah.
You guys remember this group, 303? They made a song.
Yes, Don't Trust Me. Yep, that was big then.
Oh, I think I know. Were they like? When were they big? Like, what songs did they make?
They're mostly big in the 08 to 09 school year. I remember. That's when I most remember them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
My sister loved that band.
Also, MGMT that year. That was like huge at my school.
Yeah, I also had The Lonely Island got big.
Yeah.
Oh, they made a song called On the Boat.
I mean, I think they were already a bit big before that when they had a Lazy Sunday and Dick in a Box, but once they
it was On the Boat, everyone would not stop singing.
Wait, what I'm not sure this is their well-known song, but when did "Jizz in My Pants" come out?
Oh yeah, yes. Because
I had a family friend that loved playing that song in 2011. So when did that song come out?
I believe it came out in 08.
What song?
Oh yeah.
What song?
Jizz in My Pants.
Jizz in My Pants.
Jizz in My Pants.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my family friend loved playing that song back in 2011.
What about the gaming? Yeah, we talked about music.
Oh yeah, gaming. So I already mentioned before that.
Oh yeah, gaming. When it comes to the late 2000s, gaming. I'm not sure if people hate on that period, but there was actually
people loved late 2000s, especially the 360. 360 had some games.
Yeah, actually,
when I got the Wii.
Particularly 2007 is actually considered one of the best years for gaming, actually, because that's when you had a Halo 3, Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
And into
home school and play like Wii Sports.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. You had dang, 07 had some hits, some bangers. You had Call of Duty 4,
Rock Band, Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Like we played those in school. That's so popular.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the teacher, like the music teacher, like brought it in. And we would play.
I wish, your school was cool then. Dang, that's cool.
There was a couple cool things, and that was one of them at my middle school.
Nice. Guitar Hero 3. I remember. Yeah, for those who play Guitar Hero 3, man, there's a song called Rain and Blood. That was like the hardest song in the game.
What about Dance Dance Revolution? That was like around then, I think.
Yeah, I think it was still big.
I know.
I believe it was still big, but it was starting to go on the decline because I remember it being most popular in the mid-aughts.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely bigger in the mid-2000s.
Well, there was Dance. Then there was another one. It was Just Dance, maybe.
Oh yeah.
That came out.
Just Dance is when Just Dance is well.
That was with Wii. You didn't need the mat.
Yeah. Just Dance is still around. Hard to believe.
That may actually be what may have killed a DDR.
Yeah, I
Wii?
Yeah, because you needed the mat for DDR, and like once you got the Wii, you didn't need the mat anymore.
Yeah. Another game for like 2000s. You also had BioShock. I think it came out 08.
BioShock, yeah. I mean, I didn't have a lot of those games, unfortunately, but I do remember them. Like Like I remember Halo 3. I remember BioShock. I remember all the Call of Duty games that came out. I remember Sonic Unleashed. I remember some of the Lego games that came out. There's a lot I remember. I mean, I just don't remember the titles, unfortunately. Like
I remember, late 2000s, man. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I also brought up Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had you had the Wii games, that Wii Party, Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah. Mario Party 8.
Yeah. We had what other games? Yeah, you said Sonic Unleashed. You didn't mention that. Yes.
Yeah, that came out.
Oh yeah, Smash Brothers Brawl. Yeah, I had it.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it actually was a really good era.
Yeah, late 2000s is like, but once you get to the early teens, that's when it became all about FPS.
Yeah, that's when around the time Call of Duty Black Ops came out, that's all everyone wanted to talk about.
I remember there's a YouTube video from 2010 where it's talking about first-person shooters like took over gaming, like from Archimedes.
Yeah, they really did.
Captain, the first video Archimedes ever posted in like 2010, Captain.
Oh, Archimedes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he was complaining about first-person shooters, like his first video in like late 2010.
My dad just locked me out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like. That's how you know for FPS was like becoming a problem by that point.
I'm locked on my portrait now.
That's how you know it's gonna problem by that point. Yeah, but yeah, Call of Duty. You had what else? You had Call of Duty. You had that. I think.
You also had a Halo and a Killzone.
I know that we had some first FPS. It had like
Red Dead Redemption. Was that a first person shooter?
Conduit.
Yeah, Conduit. That's what. It was
Another
like,
thing that's kind of important during this era was that as you started getting like, I got like my iPod Touch and people start getting like smartphones, is that you have a lot of these just like freemium games or games like on like Facebook, and you have like Farmville, and you have like Candy Crush,
Angry Birds.
Yeah, Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja,
Minecraft. I said Minecraft. Minecraft.
I remember getting my first smartphone in late 2009. I remember playing Android Jump. That game.
Doodle Jump?
Yeah, that was like the first big Android game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played this like paper toss one for some reason that was like a huge little.
I remember playing this one called Word Up.
Yeah, then there was Words with Friends.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember that game too.
Yeah, but yeah, man, smartphones really getting popular. They're starting to become mainstream.
Yes, the smartphones. The T-Mobile G1, the BlackBerry. Who can forget that? Those
iPhone.
Those were like the most. Oh yeah. Even though they were so expensive, people wanted to have them.
Not many people I knew had an iPhone back then. Like people say iPhone.
Everybody practically still had the iPhones most of the time.
Like not many people had it, but people definitely were excited about it. And anyone who had it was considered cool and
it was considered cool, considered rich.
What's hilarious though is they were way cheaper comparatively then than they are now.
I know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they definitely were not common.
Oh my God, it's $500 now. It's like right now you can get an iPhone 6.
I guess because of inflation.
I was looking at. I guess that's what they want. Like, really.
That's why it was so hard, so uncommon back in those days than it is now. Because of inflation, I guess. Because, that's why it's more because, like, yeah.
Now you have to have a phone. It was a luxury 10 years ago, but now, like, if you don't have a smartphone, like, you like so much stuff you can't.
Yeah, if you don't have a smartphone, you're on hip.
You don't even exist. Like, grandmas have smartphones.
Yeah.
Grandmas, like, I've seen 80-year-olds have their smartphones. Like,
yeah.
My mom has an old BlackBerry still, and I have to do everything like on my phone's old too. So I have to.
But you know something about them. I bet there's one feature a lot of people miss about the old ones is that they used to they were so much of a variety. These days it's either Samsung or Apple.
Yeah, and they looked a lot better too. Like they came
Slowpoke
like, lots of different colors.
Slowpoke disagree with us, but like I'm like Slowpoke, dude. It was like more variety. Slowpoke was like I like Slowpoke is like so pro 2010s.
Yeah, and phones back then they looked a lot better Like they came in different colors and stuff.
Different colors. Everybody I don't like about a lot of phones these days. They don't have a shift. An enter key. I know a lot of them don't have.
Why are you so concerned about an enter key?
So I can make good statements on in the zeros and stuff.
That's something I did notice. I noticed they didn't. I noticed they stopped having those for some reason.
That's weird. I never thought about that.
Isn't that the same as the return key?
It's the.
I wish the phones were smaller.
I wish phones had keyboards again. Like, man, if phones had keyboards.
Those were very useful. I mean, if you didn't want to use the screen, you could have used your keyboard. And then they got rid of those later on.
Especially when I get fingerprints in your phone. Like, it was a good way.
I know.
Yeah.
I like how it just fit in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used a phone with keyboards before.
Dang.
I remember seeing them, but I never used one. I've just used a Samsung, which sucks, and then I used an iPhone.
It's probably because they phased out early.
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember seeing most people with those by 2013, I think.
Yeah, by 2012, they were pretty much all faded out, the keyboard phone.
Yeah. 2011 was also the last time you really saw them, yeah. But man,
I always say 2011, the iPhone 4 became $99. That's when me and literally everyone I know all got their iPhone 4 because.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, I think 2011. That's when the iPhone broke. That's when the iPhone craze started.
I believe I looked up a statistic. That's when the iPhone 4 sales reached 50%.
Fall 2011.
Even though the iPhone 4 is really a year old, was already like a year old by that point, you know. Yeah, because that's when me and my brother had an iPhone 4. That's when I started seeing people in school say, "Oh my god."
Yeah, the 2011.
I got mine.
The 2011-2012 school year. Yours was probably the first of the smartphone era.
That's when smartphones really became.
True. That's totally true.
Yeah, that's when the smartphone era of today. That's also when the Samsung Galaxy got popular as well. The Samsung Galaxy also got big.
Right. Yeah. The 2011-12 school year is like the first year I noticed that almost everybody had like a smartphone, or at least 50% or so.
Yeah.
Because we play like Words with friends in class and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people with smartphones in 2010, but but it was mostly Blackberries and like old Androids.
Yeah.
Me too. It was mostly like Blackberries and older Android phones, like G1 and like the MyTouch 3G. It was mostly phones like that, or like the Droid. It wasn't like the Galaxy like it is today. It wasn't like it is today. It was mostly like the older, more, yeah.
By the time I graduated in 2012, like I remember at graduation, like we had to like walk our phones and like by then, pretty much everybody had like a smartphone.
Yeah. Also, it was
that year.
Also, the early teens. That's also when the iPod Touch was at its peak. The early teens.
Yeah. I think the iTouch was about to phase up. We're starting to phase out too.
I think about
I would say 2008 to 2011 was probably big for the iPod Touch because like I would use mine kind of like it were like an iPhone at that point. Just I would have to have Wi-Fi, obviously.
Yeah, of course. That's the only suck part about it. But at least you can play music like an iPod,
Yeah, and you could use all the apps, and you could go on Facebook and you do Facebook chat. So it really wasn't different from having an iPhone.
I totally agree with that fan you mentioned because even my mom, she had one herself at that period too.
Yeah.
And she did a lot with it. She took pictures, she took videos, all of that.
Yeah, you really could do a lot with it.
But I think the best iPod was a classic. Remember the classic one when it had like 2,000 songs, the whole 2,000 songs, and you gotta watch movies on it. Want the square iPod with the wheel?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It came out 2000. It was from 2007 and it got discontinued in 2013. Yeah, that one was pretty. That one, man. After that, yeah, that was the end of the era. Once the iPod Classic got discontinued in like 2013, that's when the iPods just like died off. The iPod craze.
Yeah.
The iPod craze died. Like that's when everybody said, you know what? Screw an iPod. I just have an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's so cheap now.
Because now your iPhone or your other kind of smartphone is only one. Do you really need like not only did people get rid of their iPods, they got rid of their CDs too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about CDs.
They got rid of their CDs, they got rid of cassettes, they got rid of everything.
But
and then also add in the fact that with streaming sites as well, shoot, it's like we don't even need them anymore.
Oh yeah, but Steve was kind of already dying with the illegal download music phase, the like the Lawn Warrior craze. And
downloading kind of died off too, because I haven't downloaded anything lately in the last 5 years.
And buying music on iTunes, that was also the reason why the CDs died as well.
Well, in 2010, 2011, you had everyone starting to do the you got it, like the music from YouTube, some app.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, the 2000 early teens. That was. I want
to say this because we haven't gotten to the other media from the late zeros yet. We're going to talk about the TV shows and the movies.
Oh yeah,
movies. Oh man, there's a lot of movies I can think about.
The late 2000s has some movies.
Now, like the ones that come to mind when it comes to like late 2000s stuff. Not just kid movies, but also like the general stuff, like Superbad. Well, not Superbad, but like the stuff like Juno. There was like Iron Man. There was the new Indiana Jones movie.
Like superhero movies have been a bit big already before that with like the Spider-Man movie and stuff. But this was really when it seems like the Marvel movie. DC, when it really became
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, Marvel wasn't really the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't say that was really a thing yet because the only movies that was out at that period was like the X-Men stuff and Iron Man.
And
everything
the Hulk.
Else, like
I remember the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk. The Hulk also came out, but other than that, there wasn't really enough to consider it the MCU.
What about what's that movie? Hellboy. What's that? Marvel? Hellboy or DC? Oh, that movie came out late.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, another superhero movie that doesn't get mentioned. There was this unforgettable TMNT one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In 2007, that one the people forget there was a one.
Yeah, late 2000s was like the golden age of action films.
Late 2000s was Twilight.
You had
Twilight. Oh yes, Twilight. Forgot.
Well,
obviously, I can't remember. Can't forget that.
All about Twilight.
Well, the books. Well, the movies.
My friend was a fan of that whole. My friend was a fan of that whole series.
And that actually, the whole vampires thing like took off after that. There was like all these other series and stuff.
I remember Transformers. There was all about Transformers too. That was also big.
Oh yeah, Transformers. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, Pineapple Express. That's what I was trying to think about rather than Superbad.
That
Step Brothers was huge in 2009.
The Simpsons movie.
2007.
Me and my friends in high school, we would just quote Step Brothers like all day.
2007. Yeah.
Blades of Glory, Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's late 2000.
Remember? Remember Hancock?
You're Not My Dad.
Hancock. Yeah. Oh, I think I remember hearing that movie.
Will Smith. Will Smith was a gangster in that movie. Will Smith was so funny in that movie.
Oh, just speaking of that, there was a movie named American Gangster at that time too.
And then he had I Am Legend, I think.
Oh yeah, I Am Legend. Oh yeah.
And then Denzel Washington, Great Debaters came out like.
Oh yeah, Great Debaters.
Yeah, a lot of good movies came out that era. 2008 has
Rainbow.
I can't believe it's.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of movies from 2008.
What was that?
Cut that out.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the scissors.
In 2008, you had like Tropic Thunder, and there was like a whole bunch of others that I'm trying to remember.
I think the last scary movie came out in like 09 or 08, one of them. The last.
There's a lot of good comedy movies.
Oh yeah.
The comedy movies. Oh yeah, Sex Drive.
Rainbow.
Enough of what?
What you're doing?
I gotta go.
What am I doing?
Dang, but remember?
Exactly.
All right.
Come up with anything.
Guys, I gotta go.
All right. See ya.
You gotta go, Miss L.
Thanks for joining the stream.
Nice seeing you again, Miss L.
But I'm wondering if you guys mentioned this franchise, American Pie. Like that was like the team.
Oh yeah.
Franchise.
Oh yes. Thank you, Mario. Oh man, you're not lying. I don't know what made you forget about the American Pie thing. I was like, yes, Stay at the House, Naked Mile, The Book of Love. Oh yeah.
Because American Pie, that was a big thing for like the 2000s, like because the first one came out in '99, the first movie.
Oh yeah, not just the originals, but you also had like all the spin-offs. Yeah, American Pie was definitely big for that. I forgot. I don't know how I could forget for American Pie.
And you had the scary movie franchise of that decade.
Oh yeah, and then you also had Harry Potter. Harry Potter was really big throughout the whole decade, as well as Fast and Furious, and then also as well. What else? There was one. I think that's all the series that was. Oh yes, X-Men. But yeah, regarding specifically to the late 2000s, yeah, Harry Potter was actually still popular too.
Yeah.
And then
this was when the last Harry Potter book came out.
Yeah.
2007, The Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. Yeah, the late 2000s, you also had, man, there's so many good movies that came out at that time period. Jeez. You had a lot of action movies, you had a lot of comedy, I think, yeah, The Hangover. Did we mention The Hangover? Yeah, because that was I never remember.
Oh yes, Hangover. Hangover was actually a late 2000s movie.
Because I know it came out I remember that movie being really popular.
Oh, there was also other movies I didn't really watch them, but the ones that come to mind was like I Love You, Bess Cooper. That was a late 2000s movie.
And then you had
Step Brothers. Yeah, Step Brothers, and then there was one. Oh, Harold Kumar. Oh yes, the Guantanamo Bay. That was also.
Dang, I'm not the only one. I remember watching.
I don't know how I forgot about that movie.
I remember watching one about White Castle. Now that movie was.
White Castle. Oh yeah.
Remember one about White Castle? It's a chain restaurant in in the East Coast. That movie is so. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. But what about so you talk about TV show? What's some TV shows from that era?
iCarly.
Oh yeah.
Yes, iCarly. Big Bang Theory, even though it wasn't that popular just yet, but that was on too at the time. Lost. There was also shows like Lost, 24, Weeds. I don't know if you guys remember that show, but there was a show called Weeds.
Oh yeah, that. I remember the game.
Nowhere, The Tutor. Yes, The Game.
You had late 2000s. Yeah, sitcoms kind of dying off this time period.
Yes, I don't remember that many. I don't really remember. I was gonna say The Office, but I wasn't sure if it was that relevant in the late 2000s at the time.
Yeah, I know. I know one sitcom that was pretty big. I know you mentioned Tyler Perry earlier. During the House of Pain. Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, Tyler Perry was really big in that period.
Yeah,
How I Met Your Mom. That was also another good one too. That was another one.
Yeah, and you had and you also had like the last. You also had the last season of King of Queens in 2007.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like the last sitcom from the 90s. That was on TV that aired. That was still airing episodes.
Mhm.
So yeah, man, the late 2000s, man, it was kind of like a sitcoms kind of losing, because I remember, I think NQG mentioned this in 2000s, that sitcoms kind of like losing its it was going from being more family oriented to that being more like young adults, more like it's more like young adult focus. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's when you kind of start seeing that shift around that time period. Yeah. I know it's not really a late 2000s thing, but 2.5 Men, I've been watching that.
And, well, no, it is because it was. I think 2.5 Men more. I think he read more in that era.
I know it came out in 2003, but it was. I remember watching it like in 2007 or 2008 when I first moved here.
Me too. Oh, another show. Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, how can I forget? Yeah. Yes, thank you. Oh my God, that show was.
So what are we talking about?
Sitcoms of the late 2000s.
Late 2000 show.
Everybody Hates Chris. Oh my God.
I got muted for breathing, so I guess I'll probably just suffocate. I could probably hold my breath. I don't know. Like
Okay.
I can, but I don't know how long I can.
Rainbow, he's so funny. But yeah, Everest Chris, man. Thank you, man. How did I forget about that show, man? That show was funny.
Oh yeah, that show was like, that show was so funny.
Like Chris Rock, he really
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember Rochelle, man. She was like the representation of like, that old school, old school everyone this, yeah. And Julius is so cute. Like, this is 5 cents of butter. This is like 55 cents of milk. That's
By the way, since this was we're in the late zeros and early tens now. This was Rainbow's era. I'd like her to talk about some of her memories with the TV and video games and music, or what we talked about music quite a bit, but TV, movies, and games.
I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't know crap about the TV.
Yeah. Or YouTube videos.
I didn't get YouTube till 2012, and I just made videos of me playing with dolls in like late 2012.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then in 2013, I was in like this huge flame war, so nothing interesting, nothing good. Unless you guys really want to hear it.
Were you playing Roblox a lot?
Oh yeah, definitely in 2013.
Yeah.
Like every day during that summer. So much, yeah.
Yeah, Roblox was for Gen Z what Pokemon is for millennials.
Yeah, I mean, because Roblox, came out in 06, like it really got big around like the early teens.
It got big in like 2007.
Yeah, because I remember people talking about Roblox when I was in elementary school. I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, a lot of people in like my elementary, they either had like a Roblox or a Minecraft or both.
Right.
I only had a Roblox.
People like played Minecraft though.
Yeah, definitely.
Millennials play Minecraft too.
Yeah, Minecraft's more of a YZ cuz thing. It's more of a YZ thing.
Yeah.
But
I totally agree with that.
Also pretty much people of all age. In fact, a lot of the people that build a lot of the most impressive stuff in Minecraft are the older millennials.
Yeah, I know Richard USA plays Minecraft. He's 181.
Yeah, whereas Roblox is like for like younger kids.
I know, especially now. I'm seeing like
I don't know if you guys like heard this before, but I actually met a girl on there that was born in 2009, and that kind of made me feel a little bit weird.
Well, definitely for me too, because I was already in middle school. Well, going into middle school when she was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a teenager by that point. Dang.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, that's how I felt when I met.
There's probably like a kid born in 2010 playing Roblox right now, and that's just weird. Like they're born in this decade.
Well, if
it's so weird.
It could possibly even go up to like 2013.
Yeah.
That's as old as my Roblox account.
Dang.
Yeah.
Jesus.
T-Rex and I knew each other online, and Black Panther before they were born.
Wait, what month did you guys meet? Because I met Unicornic in September of that year.
It was around September or October.
Oh, so like you've known each other as long as I've known Unicornic.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
But also
that was also when I made my YouTube account for the first time.
Yeah, this was when the 2012-2013 school year. That's when the whole 90s kids stuff that was in a way reaching an apex and how bad it was getting.
Yeah,
that was like the peak year for it.
In a way, I mean, it was a big lot after that, but it was really bad that year.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember though, because I was like only 10.
I saw so many arguments.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember being a big in 2009-2010 school year. Like when I was like in 8th grade, that's when I started seeing like all these kids.
What year do you guys think was it like at its peak, like at its absolute worst?
I say what Captain says. I say what Captain said.
Yeah,
me too.
Anytime
before that, I didn't really hear about it that much.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad on YouTube in 2010 though.
Yeah, you said you were also on Am I Right on this at this time?
Because I remember seeing a whole bunch of.
I was.
Because I remember seeing a whole bunch of kids on. I remember seeing a whole bunch of like '80s borns who was like crap on like 2000s kids. It's like, man, F to 2000s, man, F Lil Wayne, F John Cena,
Damn.
F Justin Bieber. Like they will go in on everything. They will hate on everything. They say F Obama, F the recession. They will go.
Jeez.
They will go ham.
Literally for
After the recession, because they were affected by it.
They all
Yeah.
1 year.
It's actually kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie.
And all these ranter.
It's weird how they said all that, but they only define like 1 or 2 years.
But recession. People's complaining about recession. You know what happened? I got to do it during this. Like people complain about when you start noticing when you start noticing that the U.S. was like becoming more prosperous, because like people complain about recession up until, at least from my perspective where I live, up to like 2013ish, early 2013. After that, that's when I stopped hearing people complain about the economy. But like from like wait to like early 13, that's when I was just hearing a lot of people saying our economy's messed up, but you can't find no jobs. Like I was hearing that all throughout Obama's first term. I was hearing that narrative.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Especially like the millennials, especially like the core millennials, like late 80s borns, like they would talk about the economy a lot, about like not finding jobs after college, and yeah, that's when we started hearing about the.
And for people my age range, like if you didn't head to college, like say you started going to work after high school, you had a hard time with that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but once you get to the mid-teens, that's when you started noticing 2000. I mean, I think once you started noticing 2000 nostalgia being on like YouTube or on forum sites.
I noticed it in like the 2015, 2016 school year.
Actually, it's a bit of it started in like a 2013, which was of course way too early. But
I guess the early 2000s. People missed the early 2000s.
I noticed it.
Like the reason why they started it is because they wanted to counter the 90s kids. Like it was counter nostalgia basically.
Because I know Black Nerd Comedy. He did 2000. He represented 2000s poorly. I think that's kind of.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think I saw that video in 2013.
Because he talked about iPhone being the 2000s thing. I'm like, dude, the iPhone wasn't even big until like 2010, 2011. Like when I think of 2000s phones, I think of flip phones. Like that was like the quintessential type of phone to 2000s.
I actually don't remember seeing an iPhone until like either 2009 or 2010.
Oh, well, that's when I started seeing iPhones. So we understand.
Like for the first time, I never knew it was released in 2007 until I was probably like 13, 14.
Well, I didn't know it was released in 2008 because I didn't hear about it in 2007. Like the phones I hear people talk about. I think for me it was like around 2009 when I first heard of them. Because I didn't hear people talk about, because the phones I hear people talk about in 2007, like the Sidekick, the Razr, the LG, the Nokia Express, the Nokia MP3 Express phone. Those are the phones I hear people talk about in 2007, but not the iPhone. Or the BlackBerry Pearl. No, I didn't hear nobody mention the iPhone. I guess because I had T-Mobile back then, and the iPhone was only AT&T. That's depending on what carrier you had for you to pay attention. Because if you had because iPhones in the late 2000s was only AT&T, so not many people had iPhones. That's why iPhones were so rare in the early days.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah,
the only person I knew who had an iPhone during the early days was my sister.
Oh,
she
really?
had like the iPhone. She had the iPhone 4. So.
Never mind. I'm about to say because the early. I think. I gotta say. Because iPhone 4, that was like the golden age of iPhone. That was when iPhone was like.
That was like the first one I noticed that was like the first one she had. I might have knew somebody with the iPhone 3, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, but
because when it comes to like the early smartphones, the only ones I remember people having was the T-Mobile G1, the MyTouch, and the Sidekick.
And the BlackBerry.
Oh, and I was also gonna say a chocolate phone, but I'm not sure if that's considered smart. But yeah, those 4 phones would have been the ones I would have seen people with the most before the iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the BlackBerry was the iPhone.
And that's if they had the money.
Because BlackBerry was the iPhone. Like people forget, the BlackBerry was the iPhone of the.
It sure was. My cousin and his dad, they actually had it at one point. But they had, but not only did they have the BlackBerry phone, but their BlackBerry phone was a flip with touchscreen, so it was a touchscreen flip phone.
Oh yeah, I remember that phone.
That's what they had.
Yeah, but early 2000s. Captain, remember this video from 2013? It was about 90s kids versus 2000s kids. That was like the first 2000s nostalgia video I could recall, Captain. And like to watch Mojo do like best cartoons of the 2000s. So yeah, I agree with Captain. Like 2013 was like the first year that people started talking about.
You know, Mario, I think you should. I think it would be a good idea to make a thread about like when did like the 90s kid debate reach its peak, because I think that actually create like interesting discussion.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I will definitely do that. But yeah, Captain, you still there?
He died.
But yeah, I was.
Yeah, his funeral's tomorrow, guys. Hope you show up.
Oh, what?
You want to bury him already? Come on.
Yep, he died. I'm sorry. I know it's sad.
But yeah,
I wonder where he went. I wonder where he went because it's still live right now.
I'm right here. I had to do something real quick.
Oh yeah, but Captain, I was saying that I agree with you that 2013 was like the first year where people started talking about the 2000s in a positive way.
Yeah, because like I said before, it was just counter nostalgia. That's why it started as early as it did, because they just wanted
to. For me though, I didn't notice it getting big until the 2015 to 16 school year.
Well, that's because you still at work.
What?
Well, yeah, you was like 13, so you was at the age where you was at the perfect age to get into that stuff.
Yeah. Get into what?
The whole decade kid debate stuff.
What do you mean? I wasn't into it back then. I only got into it last year, actually.
I know, but like most kids get into it because I remember when I was 13. That's when I started getting into it.
I was 13. But I just said that's when I noticed it starting getting big, like 2000s nostalgia.
Oh, and that's when New York Eagle got into it. New York Eagle was like 13 and 20.
13?
Yeah, 2012, yeah. New York Eagle. I think he was like one of the first users on like Personal Cafe to defend the 2000s because like everybody will crap on them.
It's kind of like how Wobo defends the 2010s.
Yeah.
Wow, and it's kind of weird because I mean, I can understand for 2000s nostalgia right now. At least it's getting there and it's getting old. The 10s nostalgia. I mean, he should defend it until he dies, but I think he's defending it too early.
I think it's kind of weird that he's already defending it because in the fact that we're still in the 10s, like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do hate the 2010s despite it not being over yet, so I think that's probably why he defends it.
Yeah,
that depends, true. but that is true. But I think it also depends on what we're talking about. Like most of the time, people talk about when it comes to hating on the 10s, it's either the music or politics. Those are the only two, or technology. Those are like the only three things I think of that I hear when people hate on the 10s.
I actually say shows and movies too.
No, shows actually get a lot of praise, like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls.
Well, Cartoon Network at least. Cartoon Network does for Nickelodeon and Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest complaints I hear is like technology and like just being at like trap music.
And then everybody's addicted to their phone. Everybody
politics.
Nobody talks to each other no more.
Those are the only two things that I have here that I've heard their biggest complaints about.
I think the biggest one is like nobody talks to each other anymore. Everybody's like isolated. Nobody can't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, because over the years I had sent so many people good morning messages and they never respond back for some reason. And when they do respond, they respond like an hour or so later.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because they were sleeping.
True.
Well, it don't have to be when there's. I mean, I don't send them messages like that in the morning. Obviously, that would be irritating to people. But I send them like when everybody's actually up. Because again, they never respond for some reason. I'll even say good morning, like just like a hi, good morning, or how are you, and they never respond.
So does that mean they're probably not on their phones and they're actually interacting face to face?
It's probably.
It's MQG in the building.
Hey, yeah.
Hi. You're kind of late.
Yeah, just coming in to speak to y'all real quick. I'm watching American Ninja Warrior right now on NBC. So, I mean, having so much fun tonight here. So,
was you watching our stream earlier?
No, I was not on the stream, but I've just been watching American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, I was about to say because when we was talking about Miss Al was on here a while ago, and we was talking about like movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I would like to speak to Miss Al sometime. So
throughout Lifetime.
Yeah, she left.
Okay.
Captain she had to take off somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt the same way as you, MQ, because I had not actually spoken to her in such a long time, even though I met her 3 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what we was talking about MPG in the stream was talking about like movies, TV shows, music.
Yeah, like how people hate on the 2010s, like what they hate about the 2010s. Yeah. Like they hate like technology, music, and politics.
Oh, by the way, real quick, because I gotta get back downstairs and finish the show. But Rainbows, I didn't know you were from New Jersey, because I know New Jersey is like a little over an hour away from Philly, but so.
Well, she lives there now.
I was born in Philly, but I moved to New Jersey in late 2005.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, nice.
All right,
so
hey, I'll see y'all later. I'll be right back when the show finishes at 10. Then I'll be back on the stream. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll have this.
The stream will probably be over by then.
Yeah, we've been
Sorry.
like almost 3 hours. So yeah.
Yeah.
But we could talk about the mid-10s.
But if not, then maybe we'll definitely see you later on Mario stream.
Yeah. Well, you could talk about the mid-teens, because the mid-10s, that's
I have a lot to talk about the mid-10s. That was such a fun era.
Yeah, 2014.
Like, even though 2014 was not, like, it wasn't so, 2014, especially 2016, they weren't, like, good in my personal life. But, like, looking back on the pop culture, it wasn't that bad, honestly.
I mean, that was the Vine era. That's pretty much the Vine era.
Yeah, but it died in like late 2016, which was like the numerical start of like the late 10s. That's why I associate like Vine with like the
perfect
mix.
And it's honestly a coincidence that it died off too. Because
and also,
because I have a friend who was literally into Vine. Like he would actually watch that stuff. And when I told him that they ended the app, he was so disappointed.
Like every single kid in middle school in like 2014 like had that app, and I did too. But I never used it. I just used it to watch other Vines. And I remember when like you couldn't go to middle school without hearing like somebody say that 9 + 10 = 21 joke. Like it was everywhere in 2014. Like in math class especially. Like whenever the answer was 21, somebody would shout 21.
What the heck? They actually made that joke, but wouldn't they? I mean, I understand it's a joke, but wouldn't they realize it's 19, not 21?
Well, so they made it. It was just middle school. They did it in college too. The college kids did it too. Oh, nerdy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
I bet Kathy heard it a lot too.
Remember These Nuts?
Because I remember Kathy heard
that. These
Nuts. Yeah, that was so big in 2015.
I still hear that joke. My friends.
He ran for president.
My friends keep saying that joke. We joke about that. Yeah, These Nuts is a popular joke. My friends and I still talk about that from time to time.
Yeah, the mid-10s. One thing I also find is that era. That was the era. That was the whole protesting era. That's when everybody was protesting.
Yeah,
well, people still protest. People still protest today.
The protest has actually gotten worse now.
But Black Lives Matter was like more worse in the mid-teens.
Well, that's the only one I don't hear about is that one. But the feminism.
But now it's like
the feminism. That stuff is still there though.
But now,
especially with the whole.
But now it's like the Me Too movement in this section.
And not just that, and not just the Me Too movement, but also the gun control, which is the March Our Lives. And then also within the feminism movement, you also had like I'm not sure if you consider this the anti-Trump, but earlier in the beginning of this year and as well as last year, they had a huge movement calling out Trump and talking about that we will not give up, we're not going to let us divide up, whatever. That movement was still there too.
I remember the Women's March like earlier this year, and I saw like signs online, and I'm gonna be completely honest, it really didn't feel like a Women's March to me because like most of the signs they were just talking about like how Trump is like an awful president.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then they had the pussy hat.
Yeah,
like,
I remember
for like women. Like I barely heard anything about like women's rights or something like that. Like, it was just hating on Trump. Like it was just like an anti-Trump march.
Exactly. The thing is that they're complaining, even though I mean, they're not complaining about women's rights in the Middle East where they're really being violated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't get it.
Oh yeah, nothing about the mid-teens. Trap music. That was like when trap music really became like mainstream.
What, mid-10s? Yeah.
Yeah, because you had like The Weeknd, Fetty Wap. You had
Do you guys think trap is still mainstream like this year?
I don't know.
Well, trap is kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're on hip.
Trap is still pretty mainstream, but I think it's more. I think hip hop's more diverse now because you had the trap first, then you had the guys who like the lyrical stuff, like lyrical, rappers, those who don't like trap, but like more like the lyrical stuff, like J. Cole or Kendrick, like the more, or Joey Bad, like So like I think it's more balanced now than it was in mid-10s, as far as like.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of kids who say I don't know kids. A lot of kids say I hate trap rap. I like the more lyrical stuff.
Yeah.
I like the more lyrical stuff or the mumble rap. Yeah, I do like to call it. Do you remember Pharrell Happy?
Oh yeah, that was that song. That was
yeah.
I got sick of hearing
that. Was like the 2014 anthem.
That was a song that song defined my senior year of high school. That song defined my senior year. I swear it did.
I could see why, because like you graduate and then it's all about being happy.
Yeah, that song.
Yeah, that'd be like the perfect graduation song for your class.
Senior year.
I mean, early in the year, you had Wrecking Ball was probably the biggest.
Oh yeah, came out. That's when the whole twerking thing happened. Oh yeah, that's not topic. Nerdy Gamer left. Dang, because he did a thread about twerking when twerking came mainstream. And a lot of people.
I noticed twerking like when the term twerk, it became pop. I remember.
Sorry about disconnected for a quick second. My sister called me.
Oh, you on your phone? You want us on your phone?
Yeah, I was on my phone the whole time. Give me a few seconds. I need to do something for her real fast. She's coming to my house, bro.
For me, I noticed the term twerking being used in 2013. Because I don't remember anyone using that word before 2013.
Yeah, I remember hearing bits and pieces of it, but I didn't really. But it was mostly like if you had mostly like again like. It was mostly like a black, Sutter thing. It wasn't really used really outside of the Southeast really until like the whole Miley Cyrus thing happened.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, because I know the word ratchet got big in 2011. Remember?
Yeah, I definitely remember.
Well,
that.
The word ratchet, basically Ratchet and Clank.
Huh?
When did you notice the term twerking getting popular, white man?
2013. That's when Miley Cyrus.
Oh. Yeah, me too. I noticed it became popular that year. That's also kind of why, like, not to get into decadeology, but that's also like one of the reasons why I consider 2013 like the first like core 2010s year.
Yeah. I know the 2012, 2013 is more polarizing, but the reason why I could very well see 2012, 2013 still fading in with the electropop era is because Gangnam Style was at its peak in that.
Yeah, and like it was like the peak school year for the Harlem Shake, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, Nerdy. Oh sorry. Were you Nerdy? Oh, I forgot he left. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. How twerking is like now. Thing everybody says when you like shake your butt. Yeah.
I actually like haven't heard that word. Haven't heard the term twerking in like the late 2010s so far as often as I heard it in the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
Like in 2014, and it was like so big.
Yeah. Also, I remember mid 2010s. 2000 nostalgia. That's definitely when 2000s was starting to become seems more nostalgic.
Because, both 90s and and Zero's nostalgia started very early. I mean, I don't know if '80s nostalgia started this early, but
I think '80s stuff started in late '90s. I heard that's when people say.
But I know about decades before that is nostalgia for those decades like the '70s, '60s, and the '50s started way later.
Yeah, '50s started in the '80s actually, which is crazy because
it actually started in the late '70s with Happy Days.
It's already early 2010s nostalgia, but like for some reason, like I don't really have like a lot of nostalgia from that time period.
Yeah, because it's still recent. It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the songs played like that were from the early 10s, like they're still like played today, like some of them.
Yeah, I mean,
well, also a lot of songs from especially in malls and stores and stuff. A lot of songs from the late '90s are still
they're
still played a lot, like
like
a lot of Sugar Ray or Third Eye Blind's I want something else. Semi-Charmed Life.
Yeah, and like there's still some of them are still played on the radio too.
Yeah.
We're talking about music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the radio, like.
By the way, since MTG is there, your microphone working?
What?
I was asking MTG.
Oh yeah. What?
So, would you like to talk about everything you experienced from TV, books, music, and video games all throughout your childhood?
Yeah, sure. Anything. Yeah.
Because
I was gonna talk about the radio real quick.
Yeah, Rainbows. The radio would be really good because.
I was in Georgia and like in the car and like my dad played the radio station and I swear like they played the same songs over and over. It was like they only knew those few songs. Like I kept on hearing One Kiss and like Remind Me to Forget or something. And like other few songs I kept on hearing, like they kept on playing the same
ones over
songs.
and over again. That's what I've been complaining about.
Yeah, so that's why I just listen to music on my phone. Like
exactly. That's why I stopped listening to 107.9 and B93 and all those other ones long time ago.
The radio station was like Atlanta's Top Hits or something.
Same here.
I don't know.
Same here. We have over here we have a station called 95.7, which is the hip hop and R&B. And not only do they play the same trap stuff over and over and over, they barely play any R&B, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah. And they'll play the same music over and over again. It'll be like only like the top 10 on Billboard, and then during the late night hours, they'll just remix the music over and over again. That's how it always is.
It's just Yeah,
but MQG. One thing you did mention, one thing that I really want to talk about. I know you brought up the thread when Nerdy Game started with twerking. You kind of mentioned how it was big and like it was used a lot in Atlanta because you guys.
Twerk. The word twerk was already in music videos back in the hip hop music videos, and it was already in Black culture in the South back in the 2000s, but it wasn't mainstream to everybody until like 2012, 2013.
My Cyrus did the fucking ball.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, MQ, because like I remember hearing the word twerk used a lot by rappers. I think Sierra used. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Sierra used the word twerking on some of her songs.
Sierra, you mean Russell Wilson's girlfriend? You mean?
Oh, not her. Sierra, the singer, R&B singer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know Sierra, she does a lot of songs that's like move your she does a lot of those type of songs that does a lot of twerking like.
Yeah.
Sierra, I think I think Huey Pop.
I know this. It's not just with the word twerking, but there's other words and other types of cultural things out there in general that originate from the Black community that didn't become mainstream until way later on. You know what I'm saying?
Ratchet. We mentioned Ratchet earlier. That word just blew up.
Ratchet. Oh man. I didn't actually hear that. I didn't even hear that word until 2012.
Well, what's been around before that with the Ratchet and Clank?
I know.
True,
Yeah.
but it was a character's name, not like a
Not like a
name.
slang word to say something's like
Yeah,
bad. That's
yeah.
I know.
Oh, that reminds me of that word. There was this video that I had watched back at that same year. I don't know if you guys remember it, but there was these two guys. They had their own song. I'm not sure if it was like well known or anything by that point, but they had this. So they made this song called "She Ratchet," and it was like so funny.
Oh yeah, that's when I first heard it. Yeah, 2011, and we was on World Star Hip Hop. I remember seeing that.
And it was on YouTube too.
Yeah, that's when I first heard
Hip Hop has like the catchiest hip hop, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, it's like really
World Star
good.
Hip Hop.
World Star Hip Hop has a lot of crazy stuff on there.
That's what I fight.
Yeah, I really like the song, like the hip hop songs. Like they're so catchy.
Fight videos. Yeah, when I was on Facebook back in the early teens, I would see a bunch of World Star Hip Hop posts all the time on there.
Yeah. But do you remember? Oh yeah, another word you mentioned, MQG. Swag. That word was so overused in late.
Oh yeah, swag got ruined throughout this decade too. There was a time when swag used to be really cool.
It used to be like.
And people said that it meant secretly we are gay.
Yeah.
I remember the first time. When was the first time you started noticing the word being used a lot? MQ.
I always thought swag meant like a really good style or really
same.
Like you got swag, like you cool or whatever.
Yeah,
like
I think the last time it was popular was 2013. That's what I remember.
What?
Yeah,
really?
I haven't heard that word lately either.
Really, heard swag, dude. Swag was popular here in 2009 and 2010. Like,
I know. I know.
I'm talking about the last year. It was popular, like that word swag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody says it anymore.
Yeah, the word swag, here in Georgia, it became popular in like 2009. I'm serious. In fact, that was like the most used word.
That's when Soulja Boy
over here it was popular then too because thanks to Soulja Boy, I heard that song. I heard the song "Turn My Swag On" back in 2008, and that's when I first heard of it. And then it kind of came, and then it made a bigger comeback in 2010. When he had another song called Pretty Boy Swag.
Pretty Boy Swag, yeah, that was in fact when I was in 8th grade, people were using that word all the time well before that song came out. And Pretty Boy Swag didn't come out until like
May or April.
Yeah, like when I was finishing 8th grade. So we were already using that word well before then.
I know I think T.I.
That's what people don't realize. It was Turn My Swag On that practically introduced the word, not Pretty Boy Swag, even though it was by the same person.
Oh, but what about T.I. Swag Like Us? That song was pretty big. Like
both those songs introduced that word, not it was Swagger Like Us and Turn My Swag On that introduced that word, not Pretty Boy Swag.
Yeah, turn my swag on. That's it. Because I remember that song like yesterday. In fact, it got stuck in my head like throughout 7th
one
grade.
Song called "Lean, Get Your Swagger." Right? I mean, that's all Once's part. That song got stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, but then swag got ruined by the mainstream throughout the 2010s, and it got ruined, and now like old people use that word.
Really?
It's like, oh my goodness.
I know
people?
Yes.
I know the word swag. I mean, it used to be swagger, like back in the day. It used to call it swagger, like you got a certain swagger about you. That's how they would say it, swagger. The older people say it, swagger versus swag. Right. But yeah, swag. Another word. I don't really hear nobody say this word anymore, but I also mentioned. I think you've seen this. Did you? Oh, MTG's muted. Okay. Nerdy.
Yeah.
Oh, because I'd say this is. I don't think it's used. I don't think this is only like in the Southeast. We say this word, but donk. That's also the word Soulja Boy made popular.
Donk. Yeah, I heard that word thanks to him too.
Yeah, like basically your butt. I was like, I don't hear nobody straight say no more, but I remember.
Yeah, I didn't really hear outside that song because I live on the West Coast. I didn't really hear anybody say that, but I am familiar with the word thanks to Soulja Boy though.
Yeah, I also got another word where you're saying butt in California, like.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's like California slang for that. For that word.
Do you guys remember when YOLO was popular?
Oh yeah, YOLO.
Oh yeah. That word got annoying later on. even though it was only popular for 2 years.
Use it as an excuse.
People literally just kept abusing it and kept doing like super stuff just saying that word though.
Yeah. YOLO. I remember 12. I remember I went to a high school graduation and then this girl said YOLO, and it was for class 2012. You see YOLO. I was like, dang. I remember getting a shirt that said "You only live once" in Rule 21. Yeah, YOLO. Dang. What's another term? Slang word from? Yeah, did mid-10s have any slang words that was besides the nuts? I can't remember any slang words from mid-10s any slang words.
I know "bae" is like a slang word of the 2010s.
Oh, bae! Oh, my cousin used that all the time. Bae. Did you know that it was Did you know it's the Danish word for a dump?
Wow, that's mean.
Like shit.
Like taking a dump.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what the word "bae" is for in Danish. It means shit. That's what it means.
Also, I don't know if this is a slang of like the 2010s, like if it counts as a slang, but I know like selfie and hella.
Selfie, hella is hella is Northern Cali, but yas and selfie are definitely the same.
Lit. That's another thing.
Yes. Lit.
Lit. Oh yeah. That's
lit actually originated from New York. So lit and hella, so they both.
It's hella lit.
Oh yeah, nerdy.
And turn up. And turn.
Oh,
not turn up, but turned up because I heard that too. Turned up.
Yeah, Subword Soulja Boy kind of made popular. All the way turned up.
Yeah.
Those are making all these slang words popular. I swear.
I've heard people use the word basic, like basic bitch.
Oh man, boring. Yes. That's another new one I'm hearing. Or and my sister introduced this to me, but and I'm not sure if it's common in your guys' areas. But her and my cousin, they tend to say the word extra, like you're being extra.
Oh yeah, I keep doing too much. Yeah.
But I don't know, and she's actually it seems like she's too old to be using those slang words for some reason. But her and my older cousin, they practically use it for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh really? Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, Gen Z. Yeah, 2010 slang is definitely. You can tell Gen 10 is like a more of a Gen Z era because most millennials don't even know have these words. What these heavy words are mean.
Yeah, and then half of the words also are mostly solidified. They're like solidly confined to the African American community.
And also people use thirsty, like someone who wants attention.
I heard that so much even a few years back. I heard people kept saying like, "You're so thirsty," or "You thirsty ass ends," or whatever.
Oh, I heard that thirsty, yeah. Or thirsty hoe, like thirsty hoe. I remember hearing that one.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
What about that? Yeah, that's another word. That.
Yes.
That's actually a Chicago slang. That's actually a Chicago slang.
I heard that word so much.
You know, it's interesting.
Here's another slang word, dreck.
What the hell?
I never heard that. That's supposed to be a Colorado thing.
Never heard that either.
It's not a Colorado thing. It's actually pretty common on like Vine. I've heard.
What's it?
Of that nature.
What is it?
Because I remember it. You remember this meme? Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, in one of the videos of that, they said Shrek is Drek.
I've never heard of that.
What the heck? Why does that sound like very less known slang?
I know. I don't know. I was just talking about slang that's like really popular. Like,
oh, here's one we forgot to mention, bruh. What about bruh?
Oh yes, bruh. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, definitely. Like 100%.
You know how many people in my family? You know how many people in my family have literally used that word?
Especially
like bruh. And when you're not making any sense, they'll say bruh.
Like bro, like for real, bro.
I still say that sometimes.
I haven't said it in a while, but I used to say it a lot in like 2015 and 2016. I used to say bro a lot, like whenever you like for real, bro.
I don't know if this counts as a slang, but some people say the fuck.
Oh yeah.
I remember when that was popular in the mid-10s.
Say it again, Rainbow.
It was the fuck.
Like DAF.
The fuck?
Yeah, like
DAFU.
By the way, isn't that actually a
DAFUQ? Yeah, I heard that too.
Isn't that derived from a text slang? I know,
yes.
I know a lot of slang words come from a text, like lol and raffle.
I remember it being popular because of a Vine.
Yeah.
Another one that comes to mind. I'm not sure if this is considered slang too, but it came from Ty Dolla $ign. Remember the song like "You're with me or not," like or not.
I used that so much when I was like 13. Like wow.
Or nah.
Yeah. Yes. My cousin would use that too. I'm not sure if he uses it today, but he would always say something like, "Are you doing this or not? Are you going to the party with me or not?" Like something like that.
I used that so much when I was 13. Like wow, like I haven't said that in such a long time. I'd be like, are we gonna call or not?
Oh yeah, you say you got a lot of 2015. Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, MQ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a word that you know too well, bruh.
Oh, that's like normal to me.
Oh yeah, MQ. Remember the song? Oh yeah, I wonder if any of you guys remember the song. Flies me a song called Bruh.
Dude, sometimes I'll use bruh. Sometimes I'll use bro on the internet without realizing it because it's just so common to me.
Yeah, because I know.
Bro is way more common. Even my dad says that out of nowhere, and I wouldn't even imagine.
I usually associate bro though more with the people at the gym.
Yeah.
Dude, hey y'all, I wanted to mention this too, but this has been a crazy week for the website. Like in the 2000s, it's been so crazy
because of all like the arguments over like
on that question for the Zeros Kids thread.
Yeah, like I'm a type of person, I will always bring out my opinion without a thread like that I would never make. But I'm tempted to get in any discussion and bring out my opinion. That's what I like doing now.
Did you guys see that meme I posted in that thread?
Yeah, it was really funny. I liked it.
But yeah, MQ.
Yeah, I made that.
But here's one thing you did mention earlier was that once you notice that 2000 started getting more love. Because remember how we said 2000 used to get crapped on by 90s, by like 80s babies. 80s born used to hate on 90s kids for like growing up the 2000 stuff in the internet. Now
I actually didn't notice it too much from 80s babies. It was mostly early 90s.
I
would say late 80s and early 90s babies. They're the ones who are the absolute worst at that.
Yeah, mid 80s babies were kind of nicer to us.
True.
Like
true.
The mid 80s borns, they were a little
bit nicer. I knew a lot of people in my age range who were like doing that same BS back then.
Exactly. I think the late 80s borns were the worst at it.
Yeah, they were, because they'll say, man, because they always bring like the Attitude Era, Nickelodeon. They always bring up stuff like from the 90s. They say, oh, yeah, you guys are too young to remember this stuff. Yeah, we nice kid. Yeah, screw y'all.
And it's funny because all of them are like 30 now. They just hit 30.
Yeah. They were like in the early 20s, and they were like hating on life. They were saying, man, screw everything. I hate my life. That's where you hear that a lot from them.
You know what sucks about the 80s borns, though? Like, they had to grow up in their teens and 20s and 2000s culture, because like when you think about it, like I read her when it comes to the 90s culture, I feel like and this is gonna be controversial, I feel like being a kid of the 90s and being the kid of most of the 2000s isn't much different. Being the teen and young adult of the 90s compared to the 2000s, completely different.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just. I mean, it's different generational wise, because millennials came of age in 2000s, where Gen Xers came of age in the 90s. It's different music wise. It's different.
And the TV and just the way to communicate and stuff, and not having the internet yet.
Oh yeah.
Or well, not internet, but like not having like the World Wide Web, even though it was just new, but like it was more business, like not commercialized yet.
But most of the 2000s, most of the 2000s, I mean, even though we had internet, it wasn't like people didn't like go ham on it like they do.
Well, social media wise, it wasn't. Yeah. But like
we're about to ask MQG earlier. So what do you remember much from the Y2K era, from 99 to 01?
The only Y2K year I remember the most, if it counts, is 2001, and that's it. And even that year is a bit fuzzy to me, but I still remember it the best. Compared to 1999 and 2000 are very blurry. Just early memories. When I think of 1999 and 2000, I just think of my family, and the stuff I did with my family, and that's it. So
that's been something with me in a 2001 and 02.
I remember when I was non-existent.
Oh my, yeah.
But what I was saying is that with the 90s, like, I would rather be born in the 70s, like the mid to late 70s, or early 80s and experience the 90s. Like if I was born between, let's say, 1974 and 1983, I would have loved to have experienced the 90s from that age, and on. But like,
yeah,
from 1984 through the rest of the 80s, experiencing the 90s, it would kind of be like, just for being a kid.
84 is they were the first, and late 83s, they graduated after 9/11.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then first, like, they had all these 90s kids like 83 borns anyway, so it makes sense.
I feel like I would even argue even 83 is kind of a stretch, because I feel like if you're born in the mid to late 70s and very early 80s, you got to experience the 90s
from a team
in your double digits, where you really understood the pop culture, everything. I'm not talking about just the kids stuff, but even
team stuff.
Fox, like the team.
Like you remember grunge being big. You usually listen to Nirvana when they were like at their peak. You listen to gangster rap. You remember when you remember a crime with Tupac and Biggie died. Yeah, you remember
exactly.
That?
Yeah, I heard so much of that back then. They kept using that. Oh, if you don't remember Tupac, or if you don't remember Biggie, or if you don't remember that sexy, fine Selena singer, oh, you're not a 90s kid, whatever.
Selena,
no,
and that's the thing. Selena died in 1995, right?
Yeah.
95, exactly. So in order to really remember her, you'd have to have been born in the early 80s and early.
Most millennials were like
or you would have to, or you would have to been part of the Latin American community to have known her.
Oh, true. That's true. But like there's a thread earlier, and once again Slim got into a debate with me. Although I like Slim personally, I know not everybody likes him, but I was telling him that, dude, like the pop culture and music, your prime age into music, and this is not just us, this is for decades. I'm talking about whether it's 70s music, 80s music, 90s music, 2000s music. The peak age for you to listen to music is 14 to 22, high school and college, period. Whether in your preteen years and your years post-college are like your early years and your late years, but high schoolers and college students are the peak age to listen to mainstream music that's explicit and has crazy stuff in it that's not really suitable for young kids, or like most parents won't really want their kids listening to. I'm just saying, now I understand there are kids who may have been exposed to that music because of older siblings or older cousins, or maybe if their parents still like listening to that music and they didn't care. But I mean, it varies from like child to child and the influence they had. But most kids on their own, they paid attention to toys and like cartoons and stuff that appeals to kids, you know. For example, like think of the music video, for example, Ariana Grande's new music video called what's it called? God's a Woman, or Drake Nice for What, or what else you got? Whether it was Wiz Khalifa, some of Wiz Khalifa's songs back then, those don't appeal to kids.
And then you had that new Tiger song,
I mean,
those songs don't. They're not targeted towards children. They're not. They're targeted towards teens.
I'd say the full age range, because you said 14, 22. I'd say the full range would be about 10 to 26, which is about 4 years added on to that range.
Would that make like 18 the absolute peak?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it depends on.
So that's 2020 for me. So yeah, early 2020 is gonna be lit.
Rainbow gonna be 18, 2020. She's gonna be, yay, Rainbow on the first season.
I don't know, but y'all remember when Slim was saying that music appeals to kids, and I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense.
No,
that's just weird. Why would a song like Anaconda appeal to kids?
I guess it also depends on what type of music he's talking about. But a lot of the music, I mean, if it's some of the more poppy stuff, then a lot of kids would be into that. Well, particularly older kids, but if it's more complex and more and more heartfelt.
I'm not talking about like Radio Disney or Disney Channel music that
I know
appeals directly to kids. I'm not talking about that music. I'm talking about the mainstream.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
music.
That's what you're saying. Because like most people, like when people say you go trap music, hip hop music, they think of like kid music. They think of like especially like even like 20 somethings think of like trap music today as a kid thing. Most millennials say F trap music, man. This stuff is like lame, and that's how most like 20 somethings feel about trap music. So like I can see where Captain's coming from that perspective, but like or Slim 95 is coming from. But like again, you have to be like at least like 11 or 10 or 11 or 12, like that age where I understand what a metaphor is or assuming the metaphor is.
Exactly. You understand the lyrics and stuff. That's another thing too.
Hip hop.
That's a good point, Mario. That's another point too. Kids don't really understand like personifications or metaphors and hyperboles and stuff like that you learn when you get to like middle school.
Late elementary, early middle.
Yeah. So that's another thing. See, you got to understand. Kids at that age don't understand the messages and those type of music and stuff. That's another reason why, again, the full age range for that music is 10 to 26 or 14 to 22. So that's my point. Like I don't understand. And I know millennials disagree too, but again, it just depends on where you grew up with. Especially where I live, where there's a lot of conservative parents and stuff like that. You know, they wouldn't let their kids listen to
because you say they go to middle class neighborhood, right? Middle class white neighborhood, something like that.
Yeah. Especially the conservative parents, they would definitely not have had their children listen to that.
Like I know, right? Just imagine being. For you, imagine for you, listen to Lil Jon to the windows to the walls. They'd be like, what? He turned that mess.
And then, or think of a 90s example. I bet no parents would have allowed their children to even listen to gangster rap or grunge. But I bet they would have allowed their children to listen to R&B or the adult contemporary stuff, or stuff like the techno stuff that came out later, or the pop song. I can understand all that. I mean, they would have listened to that stuff though.
Like MPG.
6ix9ine definitely is not for kids.
I know MPG.
or Triple X 10, even though he passed away already.
Because I know MPG. He grew up in that. He kind of grew up in that crunk era of Atlanta. So Atlanta was crunk was big. There was a lot of sort of fights like Lucky Buck, Lil Jon, Roll With Your Click. Those songs started fights. Like those songs were like those started fighting music.
By the way, I brought this up earlier when Nerdy was here, but I know MQG and I don't think Mario was in the stream yet. We were talking about the hypocrisy of it. I mean, I also don't like these bands either, but bands like One Direction and the Backstreet Boys, all these boy band stuff. How everyone hates them because I mean I don't like them either, but how everyone goes hard on them, you know.
At least for guys, girls, they like. Oh my.
But the only thing that's hypocritical about that is that they hate them just because is that a lot of them are fans of the Beatles, and the Beatles started out just like that.
The boy band teen, you know.
Yeah.
The teen poppy type of stuff of the '60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Mario and Nerdy. Y'all remember Destiny's Child?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention them. I thought we didn't mention them. Yeah. We never mentioned them.
They're kind of like the Y2K of the like hip hop industry, you know.
The female R&B, the female group.
And I don't care what people say, but I like their music. Even if it's primarily targeted towards ladies, I don't mind their music at all.
Yeah, like Survivor.
Yeah, I like their songs a lot.
I remember hearing Survivor when I was like 5. Survivor, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah, that song I can actually see being for like just not for everybody, not just for ladies. Because if you're a survivor, why not sing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm living right now, so.
Yeah.
Sing it, Rainbow.
That was actually a great song by them, to be honest.
You know, also some people debate that had Aaliyah stayed alive, she would have been like the top female artist of this era instead of Beyonce. You know what
I would agree with that too. I actually would have agreed with that because she was actually on it, and she was actually on it throughout the time before she passed away.
Yeah.
Because before that, Beyonce was just part of Destiny's Child. She wasn't by herself.
She wasn't a solo yet. Yeah. And then plus, you know, she had R. Kelly. She was with R. Kelly when she first came out, so she already had a big following, a big push behind her. You know, with R. Kelly. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because Aaliyah, she would have been 39 today had she still been alive.
She's a young woman. Dang, she's still been a young woman. Dang.
Exactly. So she was born in 1979. She died when she was
22, right?
Yeah, like I think our age right now is like when she
died. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's
she would have been. Let's see. Yeah, she was 22.
She was 20. Yeah, she was 22.
Man, she died super young, and also Left Eye died year after. Left Eye with TLC died year after. Aaliyah died.
She died much later. But she died at an older age. Like
she was like 30.
Left Eye died at 30. Yeah, 30. So not that much younger. So a lot much older than when Aaliyah died.
Yeah, a lot of that's interesting. A lot of urban artists, a lot of like the urban, like black urban artists, they died like when they're like young, like they died young. Like Biggie died at 24.
Aaliyah, TLC. There was another rapper that went by the name. I forgot his. I was just listening to his music a few years back, but I'm forgetting his name. But he also got murdered too in '99.
Was it a? So, let me see. I think it starts with Lil or Big L.
Yes, yeah, Big L. He also died around the same age as Biggie.
Yeah, he was 25. Yeah, he was 25 when he died. He was born. You also had
this guy wasn't murdered, but he died the year after Big Pun.
Oh yeah. He was
Big Pun died later on.
Yeah, he was like one of the first Puerto Rican
rappers. He died of for being too fat.
Yeah, he was like.
Speaking of Big Pun, can you guys do that tongue twister he did?
Oh no.
And about Big Pun, I actually had no clue he passed away because sometimes I ever wonder because I remember hearing him and I was always wondering what happened to this guy, and when I looked him up, I had no idea he had already passed away.
Oh yeah, no, they don't really talk about Big Pun as much as they talk about Pac and Biggie, but like he was he's big among the Latino community, among like the Hispanic, Puerto Rican. Yeah, because he paid away for Fat Joe. He pretty much helped Fat Joe. He's the reason why Fat Joe came as big as he became. Yeah.
What are the last topics you want to talk about? Because I'll have to wrap this stream up soon. But any last topic you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I know what to talk about.
What do we talk about? What you since we know?
I was just gonna talk about how cool I am.
Hey, Captain, didn't you mention something about TV shows earlier?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, what were you asking about again? Because
the TV shows you watch throughout your childhood, starting from the early years, all the shows in your early years, and then throughout your core childhood.
Yeah. I'll just start with I'll just go through all elementary school up until I'll go through middle school, but like I said before, kindergarten and first grade, it was mostly just cartoons for me, and I couldn't watch anything live action because for some reason it bored me, unless it was a live action educational show. But other than that, I could only watch during the weekends. I could only watch cartoon. I could only watch cartoons and stuff like that, and then that was about it. And then the summer before second grade, I got into That's So Raven, and that was the first live action show I fell in love with. So then. And then eventually Drake and Josh premiered throughout the time I was in second grade. So I got into more live action shows around that time.
Yeah.
Disney Channel. And then I still watch Cartoon Network, and I still watch Toon Disney and Jetix and stuff like that. Jetix actually came out towards the end of second grade for me because that would have been 2004. And then third and fourth grade, I continued on with Disney and Cartoon Network. And then Nickelodeon, I watched more with my cousins. And then fifth grade, I mainly stuck with the live action shows, and I drifted away from cartoons. And I also got into G4, and I got into more reality shows and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
By the way, would you also consider it? Would you also consider 2004 to 2007 to be the golden age for Teen Nick?
You said Teen Nick?
Yeah.
The golden age of Teen Nick, I would say 2001 to 2007. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Teen Nick was still called S-Nick in 2001. So.
Well, remember, but yeah, actually, remember, Teen Nick and Snick are separate. Teen Nick started in 2001, and Snick was still around until 2004. So technically, from 2001 to 2004, you had Snick and Teen Nick on at the same time. And people forget this because I think that on the internet, there's people who will say that Teen Nick replaced Snick, but that's actually not true. Because I think what it was is that Snick was on Sundays and Teen Nick was on Saturdays, or it was the other way around. Because I remember when Snick and Teen Nick were on at the same time. So.
Oh, really? So, wow. I did not know this. Wow. I said
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, Snick was still on through 2004, at least half of the year.
Oh, because like you said, everybody keeps assuming that Teen Nick was just completely replace S-Nick when that's not.
No, that's not true. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but Teen Nick, man, we were saying Teen Nick, man. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, remember Romeo show? Little Romeo, the rapper, had his own TV show, Nickelodeon.
I don't remember that exactly, but
yeah, you remember that?
He had the show called Just Jordan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember.
I've never heard of that.
See, Teen Nick had a lot of shows because I'm talking about the block. Because Nickelodeon back then, I loved how the channel was set up. Like you had its main programming on Nickelodeon, which was usually the Nicktoons, but then you had the Snick block that showed live action shows and cartoons as well. There were cartoons on Teen Nick as well, like not just live action shows, because you had like All Grown Up and As Told by the Gender.
Yeah.
And other shows on Teen Nick.
I remember All Grown Up. They did an episode about Usher. I think it's on Usher like that. It was like 2004.
Wait, they did an episode about Usher.
They talked about Usher. They talked about I didn't enjoy it. It was a bumper. I forgot.
You say All Grown Up was on Teen Nick, you said?
Yeah.
That's interesting because Rugrats was also on Nick Jr.'s, and that's a big contrast.
Really? That's weird. Because
he was Nick Jr. Yeah, I remember that. It was like a few years. It's like a few years ago. I was like, yeah, Nick Jr. What the crap?
Yeah, they put. I thought Rugrats was always just Nickelodeon, but maybe.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was on Nick Jr. Because the whole time I watched that channel, the block, not one time did I ever see Rugrats on there.
No, I don't remember that on there.
This was after Rugrats finished airing. So yeah, this was.
That's probably why.
Yeah, one of the things we mentioned a bit earlier, but before Mario was in the stream, was that shows like Rugrats and Arthur feel sort of like hybrids between preschooler shows and big kid shows in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But see, Arthur was educational, while Rugrats was not really.
Yeah, it was mostly about seeing from baby's perspective, baby's point of view.
Here's the weird thing. See, Rugrats was about babies, but it wasn't educational. Arthur was about third graders, not babies, but it was educational on like the elementary school level. So, but Arthur appealed to 4 to 8 year olds, so it was a hybrid, like you said. So
yeah, I mean, my cousin. I knew kids who was like, 10, like 11 years. I know kids was like, were like well past the age of PBS kids was watching Arthur. They were saying Arthur, man, that was like
yeah, that's me. That's me right there. I watched Arthur well past the age.
Yeah, I watched it too, like last month.
Now I know Cyber Chase. That's a big hit show for sure. That's on PBS Kids.
Yeah. Cyber Chase had trigonometry on there.
I'll learn about negative numbers in the first grade.
Yeah, I mean, Cyber Chase had middle school and high school math on there. I'm serious.
Oh,
when you didn't even know it as a kid. So
I also remember this show on there, Zoom.
Oh
yeah.
Black Panther.
We didn't even mention that when Miss Al was on here.
Yeah, Black Panther.
I bet she would have loved to talk about that.
Skit show, Black Panther, and he's born when the show aired. When Black Panther, it aired right time Black Panther was born. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was saying that about Nickelodeon, how it was set up. You had Nick Jr. in the mornings, which had some really good shows, and then the afternoons you had like the Nicktoons that came on Nickelodeon, and then like the rest of the day you had the regular Nickelodeon shows, even if it was live action. And then during the weekends you had Teen Nick, which show all the live action shows, like I said again. And then you had Nick at Night, which showed reruns of all the like classic shows.
Oh yeah, Fresh Prince, like
Roseanne. Well, not those shows. Well, if we're talking about the 2000s, those shows would have not been on.
Because I know Fresh Prince was on. I know
it would have been like it would have been more like the 50s and 60s stuff that was still on.
Because I know I've been watching Fresh Prince.
Because back, well, he's talking about like. Well, I'm not that, but I think he's talking about when they were still like when he was talking about Teen Nick, and he was talking about like the whole balancing. So that means like the 2000s, like he's right, like early in the morning, like very early. You had your Nicktoons, and then between 9 and 2 you had Nick Jr. And then 2 to 5, 6 o'clock or so, or 7, you had your regular Nicktoons, and then you had like the Nickelodeon shows that for live action, and then after that you have Nick at Night. But when it comes to like the Nick at Night stuff at that time, they didn't even have Fresh Prince or even Roseanne on there. It was all like the older stuff, like the Brady Bunch, I Love Lucy, all that kind of stuff. I remember. That's all the stuff that was on Nick at Night at the time.
I remember Nick at Night in 2001, and I remember how completely different it was. There used to be like black and white shows on there back then. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
Me too.
Oh, really?
That's the stuff that I remember on Nick at Night before Roseanne, Fresh Prince, Full House, and all that stuff would have been on there.
Yeah, because now, dude, Nick at Night, if you go back to like the early, like the Nick at Night today is modern to the Nick at Night back in like the early 2000s. Like Nick at Night used to show stuff from like the 50s, 60s, 70s was like the youngest shows you had on Nick at Night back then. They wouldn't even go past the 70s. Maybe
I was probably even show like the Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show was like the only 80s show on Nick at Night.
Yeah. Like, I know Bill Cosby had his own sitcom Nickelodeon. He has his own sitcom Nickelodeon. Not many people remember this, but Bill Cosby actually had this Nickelodeon.
You mean
sitcom.
Little Bill?
Not that. He made another sitcom. It was on Nick at Night.
Nick at Night. Oh, not familiar with that.
Though. No.
I think it's called Fatherhood. I think it's called Fatherhood.
Fatherhood? Oh, yeah. I remember that. Only a little bit of it, though.
Yeah.
And then one thing I was going to mention before we have to wrap up, regarding that whole Nickelodeon balance, and this would come on from like every other day or something. But not only did you have that, but you also had like the stuff like Slime Time Live. You pick
the slime shows.
Yeah, man. The Slime Time shows. You pick live, and you also had Nick.
Remember Nick Cannon has a show?
Oh, I love You Pick Live. That was my favorite.
Nick Cannon has his own show. He would quiz people on Nickelodeon.
No, do y'all realize how badly Nick fell apart from the late 2000s to present? 20 Teens Nick. If it wasn't for Loud House, Nick Nickelodeon has been a dumpster fire this decade. Do you know Nickelodeon has been so irrelevant for 20 Teens animation throughout this decade?
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
I know.
I think because they had
with the Loud House, the creator just got the show got snagged because the creator was fired. I mean, I know it's still on, but
what show's still on?
Loud House.
Wait, the creator of Loud House got fired?
Yeah, for I believe sexual misconduct. This is when the Me Too movement was a.
Ooh, speaking of that, I mean, this is not related to the same show, but I had just read a comment saying the president of Nickelodeon. I think I just read that she had just resigned.
She resigned last month. I saw that news. Yeah.
Yeah, I just read like a comment on that, so I'm trying to think how is Nickelodeon going to be now that she's gone.
But do you know
she was like the one that was wrecking this stuff.
But do you know she was also, when she was in office, Nickelodeon passed on so many good shows that could have been on the air. Like, for example, Adventure Time was supposed to be on Nickelodeon. But
I heard about that.
Yeah. And then there was a show from 2001 that was on Nickelodeon, that was supposed to be on Nickelodeon, that had animation similar to Avatar: Last Airbender, but they canceled that due to 9/11. But they could. But yeah,
You talking about Invader Zim? You said 2001.
I'm not talking about Invader Zim. I'm talking about there's like a lot more shows Nickelodeon passed on throughout the 2000s and 2010s throughout her time as president. Like she was a really shady bad president. Yet when it came to shows like Fanboy and Chum Chum, Breadwinners, or Back in the Barnyard, and all these other spin-off shows that aren't even that good, like she allowed those to stay on Nickelodeon, and they failed. All of them failed.
Yeah.
And then they passed on Adventure Time, and look how that changed Cartoon Network.
It made Cartoon Network it made Cartoon Network like the biggest. It made Cartoon Network pretty much the biggest kids network.
Yeah.
By Nickelodeon doing that, it gave Cartoon Network a comeback.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also, not only the Nicktoons fell, but the live action shows fell after iCarly and Victorious ended. Granted, I don't like Victorious.
Sam and Cat fails.
I mean, Sam and Cat, yeah.
There was like one show that had like Skinnier Adventures, whatever. That failed.
Oh yeah.
What's another show? Oh, the Hunter Hathaways, the Thundermans, all those shows failed.
You know why? Because what Nickelodeon, it was the end of an era for Nickelodeon sitcoms that appealed to teens and kids. Like there was a time from iCarly and Victorious, and this goes way back. Let's say from Clarissa Explains It all the way up until iCarly and Victorious.
Didn't Are You Afraid of the Dark precede Clarissa though?
No. That show came after.
I thought it came out in the late 80s though, 89, I think.
No. Are You Afraid of the Dark? No, that came a little bit after Clarissa, after the Clarissa show.
But yeah, Clarissa Explains It All, Kenan and Kel, all that. Let's see what else.
And they also had they also had the lesser known shows around the Clarissa show, like 15, Lucha Shores. All those shows actually did just as well, even though they didn't last long. But
Classified, that's not
all those shows you talked about, all the way to like Victorious, all those appealed, like you said, to a wider audience. And every show after Victorious practically just appealed to children practically.
Exactly, and that's why the Nickelodeon sitcoms have all failed since then. It's like they fell off. So the 2010s have been an awful.
Oh yeah, Henry Danger. Remember him? Who remembers? Yeah.
But that only appeals to kids.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the example of bad sitcoms. Yeah, because Henry Danger. But the kid who stars in Henry Danger, he's actually an influencer now. He's actually has his own like brand now. Jace Norman. I'm like, yeah, the kid from Henry Danger. I'm like, wow, this kid is like really smart. He knows how to brand himself, and he's like, yeah.
Anyways, one last thing to bring up before we. So Mario, when are you doing your next stream?
Next stream, I was gonna do one with Nerdy Gamer. I was gonna finish that discussion we had about creativity, poetry. I want to finish that.
Oh, speaking of the poetry, make sure you two bring up that girl I shared with y'all. I private messaged y'all three the girl who did all the paintings, and she even has some poetry background too.
I just saw your message like a week ago. I've been meaning to check that out.
Alkine. Yeah, Alkine. You said.
Yes.
Who?
This artist named Miss Alkine.
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yeah,
Akiana. She's a painter.
Yeah, Akiana. Yeah, that's her name. Akiane. Her last name is kind of tough to pronounce, but her first name is Akiane. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you left when he mentioned her. Yeah, I think he was calling by that.
Yeah, Mario, I sent you a private message.
Yeah, I did see it though. Yeah, that PM you sent me. But yeah, I'm gonna finish that discussion with Nerdy. But like, one thing I do want to mention about my streams lately. Robo sent me a message about the last hangouts we did. They was attacking us. That's why I was getting all these dislikes. It was a group he was attacking us, like Sharks fan and Robo talking about it. I was like, who are these people? And they're calling us, the N-word and stuff like that. It was just.
Oh yeah, he told me about that. Yeah, there's like this strange user that's like attacking Robo online for liking the 2010s and like calling him a nigger and shit.
The fuck?
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
you
made
Mario,
fun of like one of your streams, Mario. There was like a video of it.
By the way, Mario, what was Sharks fan private messaging you about? I mean, I'm sorry. Did he have like a complaint about your streams or something?
Oh, he was telling me that I think you shouldn't do no more because like they was messing with Wobo and they was messing with Jacqueline. Like we was getting it was just like a bunch of trolls messing with us. It was a bunch of trolls.
In the comment chat.
Oh, like just people who made the video. Yeah, in the comments. Yeah.
Why were they trolling Robo and Jacqueline?
Well, they were trolling Jacqueline. Well, you know.
Well, one thing to consider is try turning, if it comes to a big problem, is turning it off the comment section, the live comment section.
But like, what if like you want to like join, but like you like you can't get in the Hangout because like problems.
Yeah, because that's how.
See, that's one of the reasons. Like, if you're gonna turn off the chat, then you're gonna have to have a balance of like regular YouTube streams and Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta stop the broadcast here.
All right, no worries, Captain. It was dead. We definitely had a great time on here, though.
When you gonna be available to stream though with me?
Yeah, and I'm glad MPG was able to make it in time.
Yeah, I hope your stream doesn't mute this time so I can hear Al's voice because I really want to meet Al on this stream sometime in the future. So,
all right,
but yeah, Nerd, when you gonna be